Chapter 13:18. Outside a spatial rift in the heaven and earth divine tomb. Xingxi looked up at the void. The rumbling of Dao runes continued. Given her experience, how could she not know that someone had succeeded in Dao integration? She also knew who this person was. It was the weakling she had been chasing before. Her expression was a bit unsightly. She had been on guard, but this ant had still entered the god's mausoleum mound. Moreover, he had succeeded in path integration. Flames of rage welled up in her heart at the thought of how the two people she was going to kill had both succeeded in the Dao integration stage, right under her nose. At the same time, she also felt a little regretful. If she had directly blocked the heavens beyond of heaven and earth instead of using her spiritual force clone, how could this weakling have been able to reach Dao integration? He would have been killed by her long ago. It was a pity that she didn't take it seriously before. The reason why she didn't pay much attention to it was that she wasn't sure if Ning Cheng possessed a good fortune treasure. It wasn't until Ning Cheng shattered her spiritual sense avatar that she gradually regained clarity. Xingxi hesitated for a long time as she looked at the Dao runes roaring through the spatial rift. In the end, she gave up on entering. Others might not know about the killing world in the mound of the god's grave, but she knew it clearly. There were too many experts here. Even if she went in now, there was a possibility that she would die. Xingxi clenched her fists. Should she continue chasing? When Ning Cheng and Yi Mo used the Seven Bridges God art together, she suffered a small loss. Now that both of them had successfully fused their Dao, what would happen to her if they used their Seven Bridges divine art? Not to mention Ning Cheng, she hadn't even been able to kill that insect called Yi Mo after chasing him for so long. After staring at the crack for a long time, Xingxi finally gave up the idea of continuing to chase after Ning Cheng and Yi Mo. In her original thoughts, Ning Cheng might not succeed in Dao unification, even after 10,000 years. Unexpectedly, Ning Cheng succeeded in Dao unification in less than half a year. Seeing that the strength of the two experts who might also possess creation treasures was getting closer to hers, Xingxi made a prompt decision. She wanted to perfect the green lotus of creation as soon as possible, and then perfect her Dao. She was wasting her time here to urge her opponent to improve. Even she could guess that if not for her coercion, Ning Cheng would not have escaped to the slaughter realm. If he couldn't escape into the slaughter realm, he wouldn't be able to succeed in Dao integration so quickly. Regardless of whether Ning Cheng could come out or not, she could not continue to stay in this place. As the owner of a good fortune treasure, once Xingxi made up her mind, she decisively turned around and rushed out of the tomb of the god's grave without any hesitation. Ning Cheng didn't know if it was just an illusion, but he felt that after he reached Dao unification, the broken Dao charm laws around him seemed to have weakened a lot. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out, but it was still grayish. His spiritual consciousness could not reach any further than that. After reaching Dao unification, Ning Cheng immediately wanted to go out. If he could find the sacred Dao sect leader, the two of them could join forces and use the Seven Bridges. Then he might not have to fear that woman. After all, when he was at primordial chaos, the difference in strength was too great. It was not that Ning Cheng did not want to stay here. There were many dangers here, and even with his current strength, he could be killed at any time. There were also many treasures in the slaughter world. Staying here would definitely have a great harvest. Ning Cheng felt anxious about the safety of the Grand Essence realm. Therefore, he had indeed arranged a backup plan. It wasn't a good thing to entrust these backup plans to someone else. It had taken him more than 1,000 years to reach Dao unification in the laws of time and space. Ning Cheng didn't know how much time had passed outside the slaughter world. After a day, Ning Cheng realized that the voice in the void wasn't talking nonsense. At this moment, not to mention saying anything, he couldn't even figure out the direction. In this place, there was an endless gray void, a boundless aura of Dao runes, and an endless illusion of divine arts clashing against each other. The only thing missing was a way out. He had to go back and find that voice in the void and trade with him. Just as Ning Cheng thought of this, a horrifying void burst open. Dao charm filled the void, and the laws of space collapsed and shattered. In the void that seemed flawless to him, at this moment, cracks and gullies suddenly exploded like spider webs, forming endless black cracks one after another. Was this the Dao charm image left behind from the Great War? Ningqing looked at the scene in front of him in shock. If the remnant Dao charm image was this horrifying, then just how terrifying was the Great Creation War? Did that cobweb-like void crack lead to another interface? Could one even leave the slaughter world through it? Ningqing thought of this in his heart, but he didn't dare to go over. Even if he succeeded in reaching Dao unification, in front of this horrifying Dao charm aura, only death awaited him as soon as he approached. At this moment, a cyan lotus shadow suddenly appeared. The lotus shadow and a huge bronze bell collided, and the Dao charm exploded once again. Ningqing was completely stunned. He felt sure that the cyan lotus shadow was one of the 5 great good fortune treasures, the good fortune azure lotus. What kind of treasure was that bronze bell? After clashing head-on with the good fortune azure lotus, it didn't even leave a single crack. It was simply too exaggerated. Sure enough, there were more than just good fortune treasures in the world. Ningqing grew even more excited. He suddenly thought that if he could find the whereabouts of that bronze bell, thinking of such a treasure, Ningqing even forgot about comprehending the spirit technique laws within it. Instead, he wholeheartedly focused on the location of that bronze bell. Just as Ningqing thought of this, he felt a subtle cold aura ignore his domain and directly penetrate into his sea of consciousness. A chill and extreme discomfort washed over him, followed by a burst of dizziness and pain in his sea of consciousness. Did someone try to possess him while he was watching the battle? Ningqing quickly affirmed it. That's right, someone did try to possess him. Ningqing laughed out of anger. Someone actually tried to possess him. One had to know that what he feared the most was possession. However, Ningqing quickly tensed up. He couldn't bring out the full power of the everlasting Blue Thunder City. Even the wall of fire created by the celestial river flame couldn't block the soul possessing him. It was the first time that Ningqing saw a soul possessing him ignore his celestial river flame. One had to know that any soul or essence spirit would have an innate fear in front of flames. Moreover, what was the grade of his celestial river flame? It was one of the most powerful flames in existence. A top-grade sacred flame in the starry sky sea of consciousness? No, there's also the origin aura. The soul possessing Ningqing's body within Ningqing's sea of consciousness spoke up in an increasingly surprised tone. In the end, this surprise turned into a pleasant surprise. This is the aura of a good fortune treasure. The origin of a good fortune treasure. Could it be the mysterious yellow bead? Ha! A wild laugh erupted, and the next moment, a giant hand condensed from black mist directly passed through Ningqing's celestial river flame, wanting to obliterate Ningqing's spiritual wisdom. Ningqing then recalled that if the other party was ordinary, how could it infiltrate his sea of consciousness when he wasn't paying attention? One had to know that he was a Tao perfection expert. This fellow who wanted to possess him was definitely a powerhouse among powerhouses. Spiritual consciousness explosion. Boom. At this moment, Ningqing didn't care about the damage to his sea of consciousness. His spiritual consciousness explosion continued to erupt, rolling up a spiritual consciousness blade light as it shot towards the soul possessing him. Sure enough, under Ningqing's spiritual consciousness explosion, the essence spirit paused for a moment, and the giant hand condensed from black mist also slowed down. Ningqing's heart sank, but he didn't feel happy about it. The reason why this soul didn't fear the sacred flame wasn't because of its high level, but because of a very special reason. His spiritual consciousness explosion could only suppress this soul for a short period of time and couldn't hurt it at all. At this moment, Ningqing went through the ice-sealed space, time-sealed 3 realms, and even the order-breaking finger. But to his despair, he found that nothing could restrain this soul. The giant hand condensed from Tao charm couldn't stop this essence spirit from wreaking havoc in his sea of consciousness. What to do? The giant hand condensed from Tao charm gradually shattered Ningqing's spiritual consciousness explosion, and once again tried to crush Ningqing's consciousness. 7 bridges, and the 7 bridges spirit technique. How could Ningqing care about the fact that he hadn't brought out the 7 bridges in his sea of consciousness? At this moment, he brought out the 4th Yellow Springs Bridge without hesitation. The Cyan Arch Bridge had just taken shape when the tumbling yellow river swept down. The billowing Tao charm, along with a rich netherworld aura, swept towards the soul within Ning Cheng's sea of consciousness. The fourth Yellow Springs Bridge? Is this the underworld realm's 7 reincarnation bridges? The soul possessing Ning Cheng exclaimed in surprise. Ning Cheng's essence spirit stood on the fourth Yellow Springs Bridge, waving the rolling Dao charm of the long river. Amid the exclamation of the soul possessing Ning Cheng, the Yellow Springs Bridge directly locked the soul and twisted the big black hand back. Ning Cheng felt pleasantly surprised. Although the Yellow Springs Bridge couldn't kill the soul possessing him, it could at least bind it. Under the violent struggle of the soul possessing Ning Cheng, he did not hesitate to bring out the 5th reincarnation bridge. Under the long orange arch bridge, the pitch-black mist millstone began to grind, and the endless Dao charm turned into nothingness under this millstone. Whether it was a person or a spirit, a soul or a corporeal body, as long as it fell on this black millstone, it would turn into an illusion. Reincarnation, reincarnation. The body can go, but the person can't live. The Dao charm on the reincarnation bridge grew stronger and stronger. The soul possessing Ning Cheng, which had already been sealed by the Yellow Springs Bridge, let out a sharp screech under the Dao charm of the black millstone. Ning Cheng felt shocked in his heart. This soul was too powerful. Since the reincarnation bridge's black millstone couldn't kill him, it showed that this fellow was an extraordinary person in his previous life. The 6th Other Shore Bridge emerged. The 6th Other Shore Bridge had not yet fully formed, but the Dao charm aura had already condensed. As the Dao charm circulated, the aura in the middle of the red and white broken bridge grew more and more mournful. The red spider lily on the red broken bridge and the mandala flower on the white broken bridge also grew clearer and clearer under this mournful Dao charm. Flowers bloom and fade for billions of years, flowers and leaves never to be seen again. The soul originally on the reincarnation bridge's black millstone suddenly let out a sharp screech, and a vague arm was directly swept away by the reincarnation bridge's big millstone, falling between the broken bridges of the reincarnation bridge. After the reincarnation bridge fell into this broken arm, the Dao charm aura grew even more mournful, and the red spider lily and the white mandala flower grew even more enchanting. Chapter 13:19. Stop, let me leave the rebirth bridge. Let's make a deal. The spirit soul in Ning Cheng's sea of consciousness screamed. With the help of the 6th Other Shore Bridge, he had no chance to escape. What's more, as his spirit soul shattered, the 6th Other Shore Bridge grew stronger and stronger, which made things worse for him. You want to take my body and still want to live. Ning Cheng didn't care about the spirit souls begging for mercy. The Dao charm of the 7 bridges rolled down, and took advantage of the spirit soul's scream to send it under the rebirth bridge's great millstone. Pure essence spirit Dao charm seeped out of the rebirth bridge's great millstone, and seeped into the 6th Other Shore Bridge. The 6th Other Shore Bridge became clearer, and the Dao charm in the middle of the broken bridge started to flow. Endless information poured into Ning Cheng's mind, which made Ning Cheng overjoyed. Sure enough, one who survived a disaster was bound to have good fortune. This fellow who wanted to take over his body and ended up getting killed by him was definitely a powerful expert. Unfortunately, the information was a mess, and some parts were missing. Ning Cheng had to spend some time to sort it out. Not bad. Not only did you succeed in Dao unification, but you also killed a powerhouse who wanted to take over your body. It looks like I underestimated you. Ning Cheng put away the 7 bridges spirit technique in his sea of consciousness, and the familiar voice came again. It's you. Ning Cheng immediately took a few steps back, and looked at the void in front of him vigilantly. The voice clearly didn't come from here. Did this fellow follow him, and also want to take over his body? The voice in the void smiled. Yes, it's me. Don't worry, I won't try to take over your body. Don't say that I didn't intend to take over your body. Even if I wanted to take over your body, I wouldn't be stupid enough to do such a suicidal thing with such a powerful spirit soul. I saw that you succeeded in Dao unification, so I came looking for you. How about it? You also see that there's no way out of here. Let's cooperate, and I'll show you a way out. Ning Cheng hesitated a little. These old monsters were extremely powerful, and he didn't want to fall into their schemes. Seeing Ning Cheng still hesitating, the voice in the void said with some displeasure, "Don't think that I know the way out is easy. It took me tens of millions of years to find it. If you weren't the only buyer, I would never have used taintless water to trade. Kid, don't take it for granted. Regarding this sentence, Ningqing actually believed it. Just a moment ago, he had searched for a long time, but really could not find any way out. Do you know the expert who tried to possess me, senior? Ningqing was ready to take out the stainless water and exchange it with the other party. However, before the exchange, he naturally wanted to ask a few more questions. After all, the large amount of information he had obtained was messy. He needed to sort it out and slowly analyze it. The voice in the void eased a little. There are thousands of experts in the slaughter world. How could I possibly know them all? But the guy who took over your body just now shouldn't be any weaker than me. In the slaughter world, are there many lucky survivors like Senior? Ningqing quickly asked. When the voice in the void heard Ningqing's words, it suddenly burst into laughter. However, Ningqing could clearly hear a trace of sadness in that laughter. Ningqing did not speak. After the voice finished laughing, it was silent for a while, before it spoke in a low voice. Am I lucky? Can an unlucky guy like me, whose physical body is broken and whose divine soul is about to collapse, be called lucky? Compared to the vast majority of the fallen experts, you're considered lucky, right? Ningqing immediately retorted. The slaughter world was littered with corpses and weapon fragments. Countless experts had definitely fallen here. The voice in the void sneered. The vast majority of the fallen experts? Bah. Only ants and cannon fodder like us are the targets of death. How many of those experts have fallen? They either hid in the dark to restore their strength or left the slaughter world a long time ago. You're right, the vast majority of them have fallen. But the vast majority of them are not experts, but cannon fodder like us. Even in the slaughter world, there are countless experts with intact physical bodies and complete essence spirits. Don't think that you're free and unfettered right now. It's just that you're lucky. No one cares about a puny Dao unification holy emperor like you. Otherwise you would have fallen a long time ago. Ningqing was shocked. He no longer had the thought of finding a way out by himself. He just wanted to get out immediately. If he met that powerhouse, wouldn't he just be throwing away his life? Moreover, wouldn't the noise caused by his Dao unification have already alerted others? The voice in the void seemed to have seen through Ningqing's worries and said with a chuckle, Don't worry about the noise caused by your Dao unification. That kind of Dao unification was indeed not small. But you're just a puny Dao unification holy emperor. Ordinary people wouldn't put you in their eyes and wouldn't even bother to come out to look for you. But if you run around here and bump into an expert who is recovering his cultivation, no one would be able to save you. Ningqing didn't quite believe the words of this essence spirit at this time. Senior, when I was in the outside world, I saw the good fortune green lotus and the good fortune indestructible axe condensed, right? Those who possess the good fortune treasures should be the experts among the experts, right? Why did they also fall? The good fortune green lotus and the good fortune indestructible axe condensed? The voice in the void suddenly muttered to himself when it heard this news. Then it murmured again. They're here, these bastards are here again. Are they done? No, this daddy has to leave this damned place quickly. I don't want to get involved in this mess anymore. I don't have time to talk to you. Are you willing to trade or not? If you don't want to help me, then I'll find a way myself. The voice in the void suddenly lost its patience. Ningqing calmly spoke up. Of course, I'm naturally willing to trade with Senior. But for now, I have to ask Senior to answer a few questions of mine. Kid, hurry up and find the taintless water, and I'll answer your questions. Otherwise, forget it. The voice in the void's voice grew more and more anxious. Ningqing raised his hand, and a blue bottle appeared in the palm of his hand. He raised the bottle and spoke in a leisurely voice. This Dao friend, I have a bottle of taintless water. Moreover, I used the illusory sea crossing crystal to store it. Whether you want to trade or not, it's up to you. Since this fellow kept calling him kid, Ningqing also didn't bother to call the other party senior. After Ningqing took out the bottle of taintless water, the voice in the void suddenly spoke up. Trade, Dao friend. How do you want to trade? Ningqing calmly put away the bottle and spoke. First answer my questions. After you answer them, We can then trade. That won't do. We have to negotiate the conditions first. Will answering the question also be a bargaining chip? Although the voice in the void had calmed down a bit, Ningqing could still feel the excitement in it. Ningqing turned around and walked away. It doesn't matter to me whether we trade or not. I don't believe that I can't find a way out. Don't, I'll trade with you. An unconditional trade. You can ask the question. The voice in the void grew anxious and quickly called out to Ningqing. He wasn't afraid that Ningqing would find a way out. He was afraid that Ningqing would die before he could find a way out. A puny Tao Perfection Holy Emperor was nothing in this place. If this Tao Perfection Holy Emperor still had the taintless water, then it would be a delicious cake. You said that most of those powerhouses are still alive. Why are the good fortune treasures scattered everywhere outside? Ningqing once again brought up this question. The voice in the void sneered. Good fortune treasures are scattered everywhere. Could it be that the owners of the good fortune treasures have fallen? If the owners of the good fortune treasures died so easily, then they wouldn't have been able to obtain the good fortune treasures. Ningqing's heart tightened and he heard the voice continue. During the war back then, even those who possessed the good fortune treasures were severely injured. Apart from the owner of the indestructible axe, none of the others died. As for the rest, none of them perished. The reason why those creation treasures were scattered outside. Why? Ningqing asked eagerly. You're right to ask this question. Ordinary people don't even know. It's because the owners of the good fortune treasures wanted to find someone to nurture the good fortune treasures. After the good fortune war, the laws of the good fortune treasures were shattered, and the Tao source was missing. If you want to perfect the heaven and earth Tao source laws of the good fortune treasures, and form a good fortune world again, you must find the Tao source. For example, the good fortune jade disc needs the heavenly Tao Yin Yang Dawn treasure, the golden page world needs the 5 elements, etc. Ningqing clenched his fists and asked, does it mean that after someone perfected these good fortune treasures, the original owners of the good fortune treasures would come to snatch the fruits of victory? The voice in the void smiled faintly. You can't say that they snatched the fruits of victory, because these good fortune treasures originally belonged to them. It's just that they don't have the time to do these things. What's more, after the good fortune treasures are perfected, they also need a good fortune spirit. Ningqing tried to slow down his tone as much as possible. I understand. When the original owner of the good fortune treasure takes back the good fortune treasure, does that mean that the person who perfects the good fortune treasure would become the good fortune treasure's spirit of good fortune? You're right. That's exactly what you mean. The voice in the void even suspected that Ningqing had a good fortune treasure. Otherwise, why would he ask this? Are there many Tao sources of good fortune treasures? For example, the 5 elements of the golden page world? Do they exist in every positional plane? Ningqing's heart no longer felt the joy of successfully reaching Tao unification. His mysterious yellow bead was a fish that someone deliberately raised, but he didn't know about it until now. Now that the fish had grown up, it was time to serve it on the table. How is that possible? Take the golden page world for example. The reason why the 5 elements can take form is because the original Tao source laws of the golden page world were broken. These Tao source laws fell back into the vast universe, and then condensed into shape. In other words, there is only one set of the 5 elements of the golden page world. After the voice in the void finished speaking, it seemed to feel that it wasn't perfect, so it added, the good fortune treasure's laws were broken, and after the Tao source laws were formed in the vast universe, it had nothing to do with the original good fortune treasure. Therefore, even if the owner of the good fortune treasure looked for it, he might not be able to find it. This requires a person with great luck to find it. This is also one of the reasons why the original owner of the good fortune treasure deliberately lost it. Chapter 1320. Do you know who the original owners of these good fortune treasures were? Ningqing had already calmed down, and asked in a gentle tone. Since he had obtained the mysterious yellow bead, then don't even think of taking it away from his hands. They wanted him to be the spirit of creation? Stop dreaming. Even if he died, he wouldn't become someone else's creation spirit. As for inquiring about the original owner of the good fortune treasure, Ningqing wanted to know who the original owner of the good fortune mysterious yellow bead was. At this time, he finally understood why when he obtained the mysterious yellow bead. The information he obtained from the mysterious yellow bead stated that the mysterious yellow bead had gone through 17 masters. The meaning on the surface was naturally false. The real master of the mysterious yellow bead was not the 17th master on the surface, but the first master that he did not have any information about. As for the next 17 masters, they were just cannon fodder to complete the mysterious yellow bead. If he hadn't come here, he wouldn't have known that he was just a spare cannon fodder. The voice in the void went silent. After a while it said, "It's not that I don't want to say it, but I don't dare to. I can't be sure if those experts are in the slaughter world or not. If the owner of a good fortune treasure is in the slaughter world, they will immediately know my name. Let alone saying it out loud. I wouldn't even dare to engrave it on a jade slip. As for the consequences, I can't bear it. I don't think you can either." No wonder when he asked this fellow who the owner of the good fortune azure lotus was, this fellow didn't speak. One last question. If the owner of the good fortune treasure wants to retrieve the good fortune treasure, how long would it take? Ningqing thought about how he had already reached the Tao unification realm, and felt even more uneasy. The voice in the void said faintly, "When you reach the third step of Tao validation, or when the owner of the creation treasure perfects his strength and reappears." Ningqing did not continue to ask, but instead took out the stainless water and spoke, "Let's make a deal. In addition to giving me pointers on how to get out, you also need to give me." After hesitating for a few breaths, Ningqing spoke up, "I have a spirit flame, but if I want to advance it to a sacred flame, I lack." Not waiting for Ningqing to finish, a jade box appeared in the void. This is a bright light core, also known as the moon core. With this material, you can upgrade any of your divine flames. Ningqing grabbed the radiant core, but he still could not believe it. He knew that the old things inside were very rich, but he did not expect them to be rich to such an extent. One had to know that he had to go through a lot of hardships to find a sun's core, which allowed his celestial river flame to evolve. Now the other party had casually tossed out a lunar core, not even asking for a promise. It was a pity that he had lost the storage ring of the primordial spirit that he had killed earlier. Until now, he still did not know where that fellow's storage ring was. "By the way, I killed a guy who tried to take over my body. Why didn't he? There's nothing, right? Don't even think about taking the things of the strong. Every expert could open up their own space, and only they could open up this space. Even if you kill him, you won't be able to get their things." The voice in the void interrupted Ningqing's words. After quickly replying to Ningqing, it then spoke, "I need 2 drops of stainless water." After saying that, he threw out a jade strip. This jade strip records the way out. I also have an array flag here. When you reach the exit, use this array flag. Open up my own spatial world? Ningqing shook his head and did not think about it anymore. This voice in the void showed such magnanimity, which made Ningqing appreciate it very much. Regardless of whether the other party was pretending or something else, Ningqing liked this kind of straightforward and not procrastinating personality the most. After receiving these 2 things, Ningqing only swept out with his spiritual consciousness before throwing the bottle in his hand into the void without hesitation. Sure enough, the Tao charm in the void swept out, and his jade bottle disappeared without a trace. Ningqing took out another bottle, but this time, before he could throw the bottle out, an array flag fell into Ningqing's hands. After obtaining the array flag, Ningqing also threw the second jade bottle into the void. Haha! The laughter from the void sounded extremely happy. "You're very good, a straightforward transaction partner. I like doing business with you. I thought that you could only give me 1 drop of stainless water at most. I didn't expect you to give me 2 drops, and even be so generous." Ningqing's straightforwardness made the primordial spirit in the void feel very satisfied. "Before I leave, I have one more question to ask. Since you have the jade strip and the array flag to get out, why don't you leave by yourself?" Ningqing waited for the other party to finish before asking another question. The voice in the void sighed. "Because there is a great spiritual technique sealing this place. You don't have to guess too much. It has nothing to do with you. Because you haven't touched that great karma yet, you should leave quickly. If you stay here for a long time, maybe you will end up like me, unable to get out immediately. Hearing these words, Ningqing immediately thought of the karma cultivation method. Could it be that the owner of the third-ranked karma cultivation method had used a karma great spiritual technique here? Whether it was or not, it was not something he could or wanted to manage right now. Goodbye. Ningqing was not in the mood to stay here any longer. He cupped his fists and turned around to leave. You are a good friend, but I can only give you one sentence. If you have something you shouldn't have, then just throw it away again and choose reincarnation. Of course, I'm not sure if reincarnation is useful or not, but it is the only way out. Behind Ningqing, the voice in the void sounded out again. Apparently, the voice in the void had already guessed that Ningqing had a good fortune treasure on him. This sentence was said out of good intentions to remind Ningqing. Ningqing didn't want to go into reincarnation. He followed the directions on the jade slip and quickly fled. No matter how many dangers there were in the slaughter realm, he had thrown them aside. Even if that woman called Xingxi was waiting for him outside, he had to go out. Compared to the original owner of the good fortune treasure, Xingxi was much less of a threat. If he met Xingxi, the worst outcome would be death. But if he met the original owner of the good fortune treasure, he would not only die but become a slave. Chasing Bull might have a good life behind him, but that was because he didn't treat Chasing Bull as a slave. However, others might not think the same as him. In front of those good fortune treasures, he might not even be qualified to be a slave. In another corner of the heaven and earth god tomb mound, hundreds of millions of miles away from the slaughter realm, where Ningqing was, a blue-robed youth with a purple long sword on his back stopped in front of a cliff. It was Yi Mo who had separated from Ningqing. Xingxi didn't chase after him. Clearly, she went after Ningqing. Yi Mo shook his head. Although the chances of escaping in the heaven and earth god tomb mound were much greater than outside, he still felt Ningqing was more dangerous. Even if he wanted to help, he couldn't. He was only at the Dao integration realm, but Xingxi's strength was too powerful. If he wasn't experienced, he would have long fallen into her hands. Now he could only give some good wishes to that person called Ningqing, wishing him good luck. The heaven and earth god tomb mound was filled with broken law Dao wave whirlpools. Since he got rid of Xingxi, Yi Mo didn't plan to keep running for his life here. This cliff was a bit strange. One side seemed to have been carved by a knife, and one could even see his own shadow. The other side was rugged as though it was bombed by cannonballs. As soon as Yi Mo's spirit sense landed on this cliff, he noticed something was wrong. He instantly caught a chi of endless life force. Amidst the boundless vitality, there was also an aura of death. Wait, other than life force and death, there was also a huge amount of fortune Dao wave. It was as though this cliff controlled a person's life and death fate. Yi Mo suddenly thought of something. Then he caught an even more vast Dao wave chi. Qian Dao change, each life, great fate is formless, its source is uncertain. The Dao wave chi was faint and intermittent. Just when Yi Mo was confused, three big words appeared before him: Fate Cliff. This is the great fate chant of the 10 great cultivation methods? Yi Mo suddenly woke up. The fate cultivation method was indeed in the heaven and earth god tomb mound. At this moment he was very excited. The number 1 cultivation method of the 10 great cultivation methods was naturally the fortune cultivation method. But strangely, his golden page world was perfected and he even succeeded in Dao integration. However, he could only learn the fortune cultivation method. He didn't learn any creation god art. Now that he saw the fate cultivation method, how could he let it go? Yi Mo's spirit sense seeped into the cliff, and the Dao waves grew denser. A faintly discernible crevice appeared before him. In this crevice, the fate Dao wave was even more vast. Yi Mo took a step forward and sunk into the vast Dao wave. Heavens beyond. After Ningqing left, it was peaceful for a while. As the news that the beyond of heaven and earth was going to redivide the realms through a battle spread, people from various realms around the beyond of heaven and earth set foot there one after another. They were all powerful people. Other than these people, almost all the masters of Pill Dao, Formation Dao, Forgery Dao, and Rune Dao in the vast universe gathered at heavens beyond. As for the Heaven Lord estate, it was no longer Feng Huangmei's residence. When there weren't many people here and Ningcheng was still here, Feng Huangmei was a little tough. As more and more powerful people came, especially the Seven Saw Realm and Seven Saw Duan clan people, Feng Huangmei was kicked out of the Heaven Lord estate. If it wasn't for the fact that the realms couldn't find a better way to divide heavens beyond, the competition method would have long been abandoned. Although Feng Huangmei wasn't in charge of the Heaven Lord estate, it was still full of people. Feng Huangmei was there too, but he could only sit at the corner. As for Shi Lin and the others, they weren't qualified to enter the hall at all. Everyone, since the geniuses and powerful people from all realms have arrived at heavens beyond, I suggest we bring forward the time of the competition. An expert with a fierce aura stood up and said with cupped fists. He was Duan Yuwu, who had been defeated by Tang Tsongyin. He was sitting there, but Tang Tsongyin had long escaped from heavens beyond. No one spoke. Even Sang Wanglong, whom Ningcheng had asked for help, was silent. Feng Huangmei sighed in his heart. When he received the gift, he patted his chest loudly. Sang Wanglong even said that it was fine to postpone the competition. Reality proved that no matter how good the gift was, it could only make the recipient feel good at that moment. When the benefits came, the mentality of receiving the gift was no longer there. Chapter 13:21. No one objected, not even Sang Wanglong. Duan Shiza of the Duan clan of Seven Soas had arrived. He was a genuine Unity Realm expert. Ningcheng had said that he would come back, but it had already been nearly a year. Yet there was still no news from him. Sang Wanglong did not stand up and speak. It was not that he did not care about the promise he made to Ningcheng. Duan Shiza had ordered people to surround the sacred Dao sect the moment he arrived in the beyond of heaven and earth. Of course, this had nothing to do with Ningcheng's promise. The most important thing was that Ding Jia had taken the few people who came with Ningcheng to the sacred Dao sect. With the help of the defensive formation, he was only at death's door. Not to mention that Sang Wanglong was clearly aware that the reason the sacred Dao sect's defensive formation hadn't been broken through until now wasn't because Duan Shiza didn't have the ability, and it was because he was fishing. Only by attacking the sacred Dao sect's defense array would the sacred Dao sect master return. Similarly, that cultivator called Ningcheng would also return. Since he could not guarantee the safety of the people brought by Ningcheng, then even if he stood up to speak up for Ningcheng, he estimated that he would not be able to obtain Ningcheng's friendship. Moreover, Ningcheng's whereabouts were currently unknown. Who knew if he had escaped by himself? Was it worth it to offend a Unity Realm expert for a primordial chaos sacred emperor that he had no information about and was hard to befriend? Another point was that the competition had been brought forward, which was also what everyone wanted. Sang Wanglong could stop it, but there was no need for him to be the bad guy. Seeing that no one spoke, Duan Yuwu continued. Since everyone has agreed, then let's bring forward our fight. In addition, Heavens Beyond will be open to the public when the battle begins. Anyone can leave Heavens Beyond at will and go to any plane. Sang Wanglong frowned when he heard this. The beyond of heaven and earth was closed. No one was allowed to leave this place and go to other planes before the battle ended. This was an agreement that everyone had made. It was not something that he could just casually promise Ningcheng to participate in the competition. It could be said that the competition would affect everyone's interests and couldn't be stopped. However, before the battle ended, the beyond of heaven and earth was not allowed to go to other planes. This did not affect anyone's interests, so it could be stopped. There was also a more important point. If he did not speak about the postponement of the match, then at most it would mean that he and Ningcheng could not become friends. If he released the restriction of going to various planes in Heavens Beyond before the battle, it would not be impossible for him and Ningcheng to become friends. Instead, they would definitely become enemies. This was because the Duan clan of the Seven Pagodas had to destroy the Great Simplicity Realm after leaving the Heavens Beyond. He had long heard of the arrogance and vengeance of the Duan clan of Seven Soas. But if Ningcheng didn't die, becoming enemies with such a person with such a promising future was something that even Sang Wanglong did not want. It was fine if they couldn't become friends, but they couldn't become enemies either. No, we've already discussed this matter. Before the battle ends, you naturally can't leave the beyond of heaven and earth. Feng Huangmei stood up and said before Sang Wanglong could speak. Even though Huang Feng knew that he had no right to speak in this place, he had no choice but to speak. The reason Ning Cheng had given them 5 drops of quintessential essence of the universe was because he wanted to drag the Duan clan of the 7 pagodas into the beyond of heaven and earth. Once the Duan clan of the 7 pagodas left the beyond of heaven and earth, the Great Simplicity realm where Ning Cheng was would definitely be destroyed. He did not believe that the Duan clan of the 7 pagodas would leave the beyond of heaven and earth just to have fun. Given the Duan clan of the 7 pagodas, they would definitely destroy the Great Simplicity realm. Duan Yuwu's face turned cold, and a trace of sarcasm appeared in his eyes. Sang Wanglong knew that Duan Yuwu would definitely attack Feng Huangmei next, and it was not impossible for him to kill Feng Huangmei. He definitely could not wait for Duan Yuwu to speak. Once Duan Yuwu spoke, he would no longer be able to speak. Even though there were 5 people receiving the gift, he was actually the leader. Ning Cheng had given him the gift and asked him to send it out, which meant that if anything happened, Ning Cheng would look for him directly. Others could continue to play dead, but Sang Wanglong had to speak. Daoist Duan, I think Daoist Feng is right. Since it's an agreement made by everyone, we shouldn't break it casually. Brother Shi's strength is the highest here, but we can't ignore the other realms. I suggest that we discuss it. Sang Wanglong finally stood in front of Duan Yuwu and spoke up. Seeing Sang Wanglong take the lead, Feng Huangmei felt relieved and spoke again. Daoist Zhua, Daoist Tian, Daoist Yan, and Daoist Yi, what do you think? Duan Yuwu felt even more unhappy when Feng Huangmei called out his name. He wished he could immediately raise his hand and slap Feng Huangmei to death. The few people named by Feng Huangmei had also received Ning Cheng's gift. Now that Sang Wanglong and Feng Huangmei called out their names, they could only stand up and casually agree with Sang Wanglong's words. Originally, they thought that if they did not stand up and speak, the Duan clan of the 7 pagodas would definitely send them benefits. However, they did not expect that Feng Huangmei would call them out, which made them even angrier with Feng Huangmei. Duan Yuwu snorted coldly, but he could do nothing about it. The Duan clan of the 7 pagodas had sent Convergence Realm experts here, but he did not know if other realms had sent Convergence Realm experts. Compared to other planes and realms, the Duan clan of the 7 pagodas was really nothing. He looked at Duan Shiza, who was sitting at the head of the table and had not spoken. If it wasn't that the Duan clan suffered a huge loss in heavens beyond, a top master like Duan Shiza wouldn't have appeared here. Duan Shiza said coldly, since the major realms have an agreement, then we'll follow it. Duan Yuwu, immediately get people to break into the Divine Dao sect. Leave no one alive. Kill them all. Duan Yuwu's eyes lit up. That's right, in that case, I'll kill all my enemies in heavens beyond first. I don't believe you won't come out. Even if you don't come out, the battle would at most last a few months. After a few months, the Great Essence Realm and Divine Dao Realm would be annihilated. Feng Huangmei was very worried, but there was nothing he could do. As for Sang Wanglong and them, they naturally wouldn't say anything. To Sang Wanglong, he felt that he had done enough. Crack. The cracking sound of the bones under his feet woke Yemo up. The nearby Destiny Dao waves were still circulating, but he found this place was covered in bones. In other words, it was unknown how many people had fallen to this destiny cultivation technique since ancient times. Why would there be so many bones in a place with destiny cultivation method? A rush of footsteps interrupted Yemo's thoughts. Then he saw an old man charge over desperately. Dao friend Ku. Yemo knew this person. It was Ku Yuxing of the Thousand Realm Auction. Yemo clearly felt something wasn't right with Ku Yuxing, as though he encountered something terrifying. Wait, Ku Yuxing had lost all his life force. Ku Yuxing didn't seem to hear Yemo's call, and kept charging forward like crazy. But when he was 3 feet away from Yemo, he finally fell to the ground. The next moment, his Dao waves started to dissipate. Waves of destiny chi swept his Dao waves away. Ku Yuxing looked up dejectedly. He finally saw Yemo, and there was a sliver of desperation in his eyes. Sect leader Yi, quickly leave, this place is fake. Before he could finish his sentence, Ku Yuxing's head tilted to the side. A dozen breaths later, all of his clothes and flesh disappeared. His divine soul also started to disappear. Only the Tao runes of the great Tao turned into a stream, and were absorbed completely. Yemo immediately stopped. No wonder there were so many bones here. These people were attracted here like him, and then had their great Tao waves sucked dry. Yemo didn't leave. He felt this place wasn't fake. The Qi of Destiny Tao couldn't be faked. If he wasn't hunted by Xingxi, perhaps he would retreat and think of a way. Xingxi's power made him realize that even if he killed someone stronger than him, he wouldn't be able to face those peak beings. Only special fortuitous encounters could increase his strength, and the Fate Divine Art was what he needed. Instead of retreating, Yemo sped up. After walking 100 meters, his eyes lit up. In a stone room, a pure white stone ball floated in the air. Beneath the stone orb were countless skeletons. The aura of the great Tao of Destiny seeped out from the stone orb. At the same time, endless Taoist rhymes were swept over and seeped into the stone ball. With Yemo's experience, he knew this stone ball wouldn't be here for no reason. But since he came, he didn't plan to leave. As soon as Yemo entered the stone room, he felt his life chi disappear like a raging wave. The shadow of death loomed over. With each step he took, the life chi disappeared more than double. No wonder Ku Yuxing wanted to run. His life chi was sucked dry here. No wonder there were so many skeletons here. These skeletons all wanted to take away the Destiny Cultivation Method stone orb. Yemo took a deep breath and the life force of the Chaos Tree circulated. His lost life force was instantly replenished by the Chaos Tree. The distance that other people couldn't cross in their entire life was just a few steps for him. Thud. Yemo grabbed the stone ball in the air. The next moment, endless life chi and Tao wave seeped over and completely enveloped him. He didn't even need to cultivate now. That chaotic chi would make him explode. If he didn't have the fortune cultivation method, he would have exploded already. Three-birth Tao chant ran like crazy. That endless Tao wave chi and powerful God essence turned into cultivation level and knowledge. Tao integration middle stage, Tao integration tertiary stage crack. When the Tao waves on the stone ball calmed down completely, Yemo had reached Tao integration tertiary stage. Violent God essence and Tao wave rumbled in his body. Yemo knew that this was like absorbing Star Grand method. These Tao waves and God essence weren't cultivated by him. He would need to spend countless years in solitary cultivation to truly digest these things and become a true Tao integration tertiary stage. A sharp roar sounded. A power that almost grabbed the world smashed at Yemo purple sword ray sliced across. And that power was stopped by the endless twisted sword runes. At the same time, Yemo tore open the void of the Heaven-Earth God tomb mound and disappeared. Behind him, there was only the shrill screams of madness. Chapter 1322. Ningqing once again stood on the edge of the Jiaoliang Sea and stared at the inextinguishable axe pattern that broke through the void. Initially, he was almost killed by this axe line, which caused him to end up in the Sand General City. This time, he had to see how powerful this axe pattern was. He did not believe that he would not be able to deal with this axe pattern after reaching Tao integration. He brought out the Creation Divine Spear and rolled up thousands of spear pattern Tao runes. Boom! The space exploded and Tao runes splashed everywhere. The inextinguishable axe pattern, which had almost killed Ningqing, collapsed under Ningcheng's spear and blew up the surrounding space completely. Ningqing also took a few steps back before he stood still. He looked at the void that had already become quiet and calmed down. Compared to the early stage primordial chaos, his strength had increased by many times. However, he knew that even now, he was still an ant in the eyes of others, a stepping stone for others to move forward. Maybe one day he would stand here and grab the guy who brought out the axe pattern. Ningcheng did not bring out the starry sky wheel, but burned his spirit essence frantically. When the Tao runes around him condensed to the point that they were about to break the space, he shot out with his spear. The void here was still too terrifying, and he could not even sense the specific location of the plane. Given his current strength, he had to burn his spirit essence and use the Creation Divine Spear to crack the void. Boom! After the Creation Divine Spear, a faintly discernible void crack appeared in front of Ningcheng. Ningcheng did not feel sad or happy. The creation divine spear rolled up the Tao runes and spirit essence, and once again blasted the crack in the void. Crack! The crack in the void finally grew bigger. Ningqing raised his hand and tore it. Then his entire body disappeared into it. If he did not tear the void, he did not know how long it would take to reach heavens beyond from here. Ningqing knew that with his current cultivation level, using a method like tearing the void was likely to make him lose speed. However, he had no other choice. As long as he could reach the void of the Jiaoliang realm, his spiritual consciousness could vaguely sense the location. Outside the heavens beyond sacred Tao sect's encampment, the defense array was no longer on the verge of being broken. With just a few attacks, the defensive formation began to tremble. Bastard, if I, the great Emperor Ping Cauldron, was at my peak, I could crush a bunch of these ants with a single finger. The old man cursed when he felt the sacred Tao sect's defensive formation shaking. However, the old fart did not finish his sentence. He still had some self-awareness in his heart. Even when he was at his peak, he could not pinch these people to death with a finger. In fact, even when he was at his peak, he was not a match for a world creation expert from the Duan clan of 7 SOS. Boom. Kacha. There was an explosion. No matter how strong the sacred Tao sect's defense array was, it could not withstand the true attack of a creation realm expert. The previous attack could be said to be a feint. Once the real attack was launched, the Great Barrier protecting array would not be able to withstand it. Ding Jie's face was a little pale. He was the one in charge of this defense array. With the defense array, he might be able to resist for a while, but without it he could not stop the creation realm Duan Yuwu at all. Now that the defense array was broken, none of the more than 100 people from the sacred Tao sect in heavens beyond would survive. Even though his strength had improved very quickly, it was a pity that he was still far from being able to compare with these veteran powerhouses. A primordial chaos sacred emperor was really nothing here. I'm sorry, Daoist Lu. If I hadn't called you guys over. Ding Jie looked at Lu Dongsa beside him and said apologetically. Lu Dongsa laughed. If Daoist Ning hadn't saved me back then, I would have been dead long ago. If Brother Ding hadn't asked us to come to this place, I wouldn't have lived until today. The Duan clan of 7 SOS is just being arrogant today. After today, they will just be courting death. I don't believe that Brother Ningcheng will let this group of trash go. Guardian Ding, Ningcheng offended the Duan clan of 7 SOS. There is no need for us to help them avoid disaster. We didn't kill anyone from the Duan clan of 7 SOS, so there is no hatred. Why don't we send those 3 out? Otherwise, the sacred Tao sect. Shut up, Mian. Brother Ning has saved me several times. How can I ignore him? Besides, I have a feud with the Duan clan of 7 SOS. Ding Jie did not care that the other party had sent him a voice transmission. Instead, he berated her loudly. A pretty female cultivator standing next to Ding Jie blushed and stopped transmitting her voice. Instead, she said coldly, Brother Ding, speaking of which, I should be the one in charge of the heavens beyond of heaven and earth. It's only because your cultivation level is higher that you made the decision. Now that your decision is wrong, do you want to drag everyone in the sacred Tao sect to their graves? Do you know who Ningqing is? He was the one who destroyed Huang Ping's cultivation level and foundation in the heavens beyond. Do you think Brother Bao will let it go when he comes back? Even if you have a good relationship with the sect master, you can't make a decision on this matter. Ding Jie stared at the pretty female cultivator and said word by word. Mi Yun, you can continue to be the misty immortal Pond's saintess or stay in the heavens beyond as a member of the sacred Tao sect. However, I have to warn you that Ning Cheng is my friend, so his matters are my matters. I'm responsible for the sacred Tao sect and the more than 100 sacred Tao sect disciples in the heavens beyond. Mi Yun said without hesitation, no longer feeling embarrassed. The old fogey frowned as he listened. Lu Dongsa and Ali were not as thick-skinned as the old fogey, so their faces had already turned red. The sacred Tao sect had actually had an internal conflict because of them. Lu Dongsa hurriedly stood up and said, Brother Ding, let's go out first. Everyone, please don't. Go out? You still want to go out now? Die. Before Lu Dongsa could finish his sentence, a sharp palm print slapped over. Facing a creation realm expert, Lu Dongsa, who only had a primordial chaos cultivation level, did not even have a chance to resist. He was directly slapped into a bloody mist. In the bloody mist, a vaguely broken principal spirit tried to condense, but it was somewhat difficult. Ali, who was next to Lu Dongsa, was also not spared. She was behind Lu Dongsa, so just the aftermath of the Dao runes had directly shattered her principal spirit. Although her physical body was still there, she had undoubtedly died. The old fogey sighed. He had not expected that he would still not be spared. However, even if he had to die, he had to think of a way to protect his principal spirit. Bam! In just one move, the old fogey's arms were blasted into nothingness by the Dao runes of Duan Yuwu. The old fogey's expression also changed. The space around him had been completely sealed. At that moment, it had become extremely difficult for him to even move in this space, let alone escape with his principal spirit. It was only then that he realized how powerful a creation realm expert was. Die. How dare you provoke my 7 SOS Duan clan? I will kill you all. Duan Yuwu's cold voice was heard. The pentagonal copper bell was like 5 death-pressing gourds that completely locked the old fogey, making him unable to move. In order to kill the old fogey, Duan Yuwu did not need to use the pentagonal copper bell. What he wanted was the despairing aura of his opponent before death. Your principal spirit has not exploded. You have many good things on you. Duan Yuwu, who had trapped the old fogey, saw Lu Dongsa's faint principal spirit in the distance. He sneered, took a step forward again and slapped him again. Boom! A green shadow that tore through heaven and earth suddenly appeared, and the blood mist exploded again. This time, it was not Lu Dongsa's principal spirit that exploded, but Duan Yuwu's arm. Master Ning, you're finally back. The old fogey felt like crying and called out in Chasing Bull's tone. The man in green robes standing in front of him was none other than Ning Cheng. The creation divine spear in his hand was still surrounded by some red mist. Duan Yuwu, who stood in front of him, had already lost an arm. Good, you even destroyed this sovereign's arm. When Duan Yuwu saw Ning Cheng, anger rose in his heart, but he did not dare to step forward. He knew very well that Ning Cheng's strength was much stronger than his. He was not afraid at all, as he was sure that he could hold on until the 7 SOS Duan clan's Unity Realm expert arrived. Ning Cheng ignored Duan Yuwu. Duan Yuwu had killed Lu Dongsa and Ali and destroyed the old fogey's arms. If he had not torn the void and returned to heavens beyond in time, he would not have been able to see Lu Dongsa's principal spirit. At this time, he could not reason with the 7 SOS Duan clan. Only the destruction of one party would be the real reason. Ning Cheng sprinkled a drop of quintessential essence of the universe on Lu Dongsa's principal spirit, which was about to disperse, immediately condensed. Ning Cheng took out a few elixir pills and put them into Ali's mouth. Then he said to the old fogey, "Take Union Master Lu and Ali to the heavens beyond rest stop. I'll come back as soon as I'm done." Ali only needed a 16 soul pill to save him, but he lacked the 16 soul pill right now. Although the materials for refining the 16 soul pill were rare, he had it. Ning Cheng was not a fool. When he arrived, he saw the old fogey and the other two standing at the front. Apart from Ding Jie, the people from the sacred Dao sect stood far behind. Ding Jie looked ashamed and angry. Given his experience, he could guess some things. He guessed that the people from the sacred Dao sect did not want the old fogey and the other two here, which was why this had happened. Okay. The old fogey had been with Ning Cheng for a long time, so he could guess what Ning Cheng wanted to do. Moreover, Ning Cheng's cultivation had already reached Dao integration. Ding Jie came up and said awkwardly, "Brother Ning, this matter." Although this matter had nothing to do with Ding Jie still blamed himself deeply. Ning Cheng waved his hand. "Brother Ding, this has nothing to do with you. In any case, we are friends." After saying that, Ning Cheng raised his hand and brought out the 4th Yellow Springs Bridge, which completely sealed the space. The creation divine spear swept towards Duan Yuwu and another creation realm expert of the 7 SOS Duan clan. As for the Dao integration sacred emperors, just the Yellow Springs Dao runes of the Yellow Springs Bridge sealed them. Not to mention that Ning Cheng had already reached Dao integration. Even if Ning Cheng had not reached Dao integration, he could easily kill Duan Yuwu's fake realm expert. The old fogey saw the opportunity and quickly left with Lu Dong's essence spirit and a Li. Ning Cheng's creation divine spear had already started wreaking havoc. The violent spear charm's killing intent combined with the Dao runes of the 4th Yellow Springs Bridge sealed all the experts of the 7 SOS Duan clan besieging the sacred Dao sect's defensive array. A mournful scream rang out. Even Duan Yuwu did not last long before Ning Cheng tore his body apart and burned his essence spirit. "You're courting death," Duan Shiza yelled. When he rushed over, he could only smell the smell of blood. He could not see anyone from the 7 SOS Duan clan. Flames burned in his heart, and he hated himself for being a step too late. Sang Wanglong and the others, who followed behind Duan Shiza, looked at Ning Cheng standing on the Yellow Springs Bridge like a god of death. Chapter 1323. Duan Shiza was an integration realm expert. The angrier he got, the calmer he became. Ning Cheng had killed 2 creation realm experts from the Duan clan, including Duan Yuwu, and several Dao integration experts in such a short time, which showed that Ning Cheng was not much weaker than him. Streaks of sharp Dao rhyme aura slowly condensed and surrounded his body. The killing intent gradually increased, and a blue bone fan with a blood-red edge floated above his head. The fan seemed to contain a destructive aura that could erupt at any time. Facing an expert like Ning Cheng, he did not want to be careless. Ning Cheng gripped the creation divine spear tightly, and stood still on the 4th Yellow Springs Bridge. He could easily kill Duan Yuwu, but it did not mean that he could easily kill this integration realm expert in front of him. After talking to the voice in the void in the heaven and earth divine tomb, Ning Cheng had a rough idea of the strength of this 3rd step expert. As the saying went, great Dao has a small decline, small Dao has a big decline, illusion Dao has a false decline, and false Dao has no decline. In Ning Cheng's opinion, the Dao that Xingxi cultivated should be a great Dao, which was why she was very strong when she reached the 3rd step. Dao Lord Formless and Dao Lord Changtian should cultivate small Dao, which was why they were weaker than Xingxi. As for Feng Huangmei and the Duan clan's 3rd step experts, they were either illusion Dao or false Dao. These people should be the weakest. Even if they were the weakest, Ning Cheng did not dare to be careless. After all, he was only at the Dao integration realm, while the guy in front of him seemed to have entered the illusion Dao's integration realm. Standing in the distance, Sang Wanglong and the others saw Ning Cheng standing on the Yellow Springs Bridge, surrounded by killing intent and boundless Dao rune aura. He did not seem to be at a disadvantage when confronting Duan Shiza. They were all shocked. Sang Wanglong had never seen Ning Cheng fight. Now that Ning Cheng had killed 2 creation realm experts and confronted Duan Shiza, he knew that he was far from being Ning Cheng's match. At this thought, he could not help but rejoice that he had not completely offended Ning Cheng. Otherwise, no matter how strong the Heaven Gate realm was, it would not be able to protect him in heavens beyond. You're Ning Cheng of the Grand Essence realm. The Ning Cheng who killed 3 creation realm and 5 Dao integration realm cultivators of my Duan clan of 7 ways. Duan Shiza stared at Ning Cheng and asked word by word. Ning Cheng spoke up in a calm tone. "No, you're mistaken." Duan Shiza roared with laughter. Yet there wasn't a trace of a smile in his eyes. "No matter how you try to deny it, you'll still die. Killing 1 person from my Duan clan is enough to destroy your entire Grand Essence realm. Today you killed so many elites of my Duan clan. Even if you invited the strongest powerhouses of the vast universe, you and the Grand Essence realm would still end up in ashes." Ning Cheng spoke up with a calm voice. "I said that you made a mistake. It's not that I didn't kill anyone from your Duan clan of 7 sockets, but that you misstated the number. Didn't the Duan clan of the 7 ways like to destroy other realms and planets at the drop of a hat? After killing you, I will go to the 7 Aqua realm and uproot your Duan clan. As for the number, you can calculate it yourself. Oh, by the way, you don't have that chance anymore. I'll see how a puny Dao integration cultivator like you can defy the heavens." Duan Shiza was so angry that he didn't even bother to curse. The blood-rimmed blue bone fan in his hand suddenly expanded and transformed into endless mournful wind mists. The surging sound baneful aura permeated the entire heavens beyond. Those with weaker cultivations started bleeding from their 7 orifices. Sang Wanglong and the others, who were watching from the side, had to extend their protective domains to resist. The mournful wind mists mixed with the sound baneful aura, became increasingly condensed, and completely controlled Ning Cheng and the space he was in. Ning Cheng snorted coldly. The Duan clan of 7 sockets was indeed vicious. In the eyes of the Duan clan of 7 sockets, the lives of others were no different from ants. The yellow river above the 4th Yellow Springs Bridge roared more and more violently. The mournful spatial sound baneful aura was swept away by the yellow river, but some of it still swept towards Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng waved his hand again, and the 5th Reincarnation Bridge landed on the Yellow Springs Bridge. The huge black millstone under the Reincarnation Bridge was grinding frantically. The endless mournful sound baneful wind mists were swept away by the Reincarnation Bridge and disappeared. The mournful sound baneful Dao runes were clearly not Duan Shiza's trump card. When Ning Cheng took out the Reincarnation Bridge, Duan Shiza had already waved his blood-rimmed bone fan countless times. Every time Duan Shiza waved his fan, a faintly discernible spiral Dao pattern would appear. These spiral Dao patterns gradually formed a spring-like space. Ning Cheng, on the other hand, was bound by this spiral Dao pattern. Even Ning Cheng's domain could not stop it. Ning Cheng's heart skipped a beat. He was right. An integration realm cultivator was more than a few times stronger than a creation realm cultivator. These spiral spinning Dao patterns not only bound his space, but more importantly, they bound his Dao rune laws. At this moment, all his nomological divine abilities were restricted. His protective domain was also a type of nomological law, so his protective domain was also restricted. Ning Cheng was secretly shocked. This divine ability was somewhat similar to his law-breaking spirit ability. His law-breaking spirit ability required him to break the laws of heaven and earth and space. Although the other party's divine ability did not break the laws of the surrounding space, it bound the laws of the surrounding space. Compared to this, his law-breaking spirit ability seemed to be more destructive and effective. In fact, Ning Cheng knew very well that this law-breaking spirit ability was no weaker than his law-breaking spirit ability. In fact, it was even stronger. This was because this law-breaking spirit ability consumed much less Dao runes and spirit essence. Ning Cheng swung the spear in his hand, and the spear patterns turned into thousands of nomological Dao runes. It was also a law-breaking spirit ability. Before Ning Cheng could follow behind and use his killer move, the spatial laws binding him suddenly changed, and Ning Cheng saw a beautiful and poignant world. If Ning Cheng hadn't used his law-breaking spirit ability, he might not have been able to resist walking into this beautiful and poignant world. Duan Shiza's blood-rimmed bone fan was also a Dao rune world artifact, just like the mountain river diagram. Seeing Ning Cheng stop at the edge of his blood mountain river fan, Duan Shiza frowned. He had also sensed Ning Cheng's law-breaking spirit ability. The reason Ning Cheng didn't walk into his blood mountain river fan was because he had used an law-breaking spirit ability before he entered. It was this law-breaking spirit ability that weakened the effect of his mountain river intent on Ning Cheng. Intent Dao rune spirit ability? Ning Cheng looked at the blood mountain river in front of him, and completely understood Duan Shiza's thoughts. Everything Duan Shiza had done before was just a cover. His real killer move was to make him walk into this blood mountain river. Intent spirit ability? I have one too. At this moment, not only did Ning Cheng not retreat, but he also stepped into the blood mountain river. Duan Shiza was pleasantly surprised. Just when he thought he would have to use other means, Ning Cheng actually entered his blood mountain river at the last moment. As long as one entered his blood mountain river, one could only be ravaged and killed by him. Feng Huangmei, who was watching from the side, was shocked. Even if he shouted, it wouldn't affect Ning Cheng in the slightest. He could only watch Ning Cheng step into Duan Shiza's blood mountain river. It's over. Sang Wanglong and the others breathed a sigh of relief. Ning Cheng was indeed heaven-defying to be able to confront a Unity Realm powerhouse. Fortunately, Ning Cheng's heaven-defying abilities were limited, and he wasn't Duan Shiza's opponent in the end. Once Ning Cheng died, the Grand Essence Realm would most likely be destroyed, and it wouldn't even have the chance to be refined. The moment Ning Cheng stepped into the Blood Mountain River, Duan Shiza brought out a giant pair of scissors. He wanted to cut off Ning Cheng's head and pinch Ning Cheng's essence spirit to tell him that the Seven Soa's Duan clan wasn't something an ant like him could offend. But just as he brought out the scissors, he smelled a wine fragrance, and the Blood Mountain River fan in front of him started to blur. As the sun set, yellow sand rose. On the ancient path, a skinny horse and a human depended on each other. A breeze and yellow sand appeared in front of Duan Shiza. On the long ancient path, he seemed to see a scene that had long been hidden in the depths of his memory. This is when he saw the Blood Mountain River at the end of the yellow sand path. Duan Shiza instantly sobered up. No, this is also a martial intent spirit ability. A puny Dao integration Holy Emperor dared to use a blood spirit ability on him the moment he stepped into the Blood Mountain River. He's courting death. Duan Shiza sneered, and the Dao runes of the giant pair of scissors flowed, sweeping over waves of killing aura. Even the death aura on the Yellow Springs Bridge and Rebirth Bridge under Ning Cheng's feet was swept over, and the killing aura of the giant pair of scissors continued to rise. Just as Ning Cheng was about to be completely enveloped by this killing aura, Duan Shiza saw a finger pointing at the end of the space. What could be used to describe this finger? Boundless? Majestic? Or slaughter? None of these were right. This was death. Everything in the universe shattered in front of this finger. Laws shattered, Dao runes shattered, and life was about to shatter, breaking through the void, destroying everything. The law-breaking finger. Duan Shiza's giant pair of scissors suddenly disintegrated under this finger. The Dao runes of the rolling yellow sand and setting sun, coupled with this finger that could destroy everything, appeared even more tragic and tragic. What finger is this? Duan Shiza watched helplessly as this finger broke through his Dao runes, tore open his domain, and blasted into his divine soul. None to depend on, yellow sand rises. There is a thin horse on the west wind ancient path, relying on each other for endless tears. Duan Shiza, who had already broken free from the none to depend on spirit ability, was once again swept into the none to depend on spirit ability. The giant arrow in his hand became that woman's boudoir scissors. His mountain and river Dao runes had already turned into a binding that swept him in. Victory or defeat was decided in an instant. Just as he was about to break free from Ning Cheng's none to depend on and control Ning Cheng, the heaven and earth finger appeared. If Ning Cheng didn't have the law-breaking finger, if he could have been a step faster, no matter which world, it was a difficult thing to do. Bang! Blood mist exploded, and the giant pair of scissors in Duan Shiza's hand fell to the ground. A trace of despair flashed in his eyes. The surrounding illusion disappeared, and his blood-side mountain and river fan also fell to the ground. Only his broken essence spirit still looked at Ning Cheng with some unwillingness. What the hell is that finger? Law-breaking finger. You can wait for the rest of your Duan clan to go to hell together. Ning Cheng waved his hand and put away the Yellow Springs Bridge and Reincarnation Bridge. Everything around him disappeared, except for Duan Shiza, who had turned into a blood mist and hadn't completely dissipated. Chapter 1324. The surroundings were silent. Even Feng Huangmei stopped talking for a moment. Ning Cheng and Duan Shiza's battle didn't last long, but the changes in the middle were very strange. Even Sang Wanglong, who had the highest cultivation, thought that Ning Cheng would die, but Duan Shiza was the one who died in the end. Sang Wanglong was the first to react. He stepped forward and cupped his fists. Congratulations to Dao friend Ning for advancing your cultivation to the next level. Breaking through the laws of heaven and earth with a single finger has truly opened my eyes. Even though he looked calm on the surface, Sang Wanglong's heart was in turmoil. Even when Feng Huangmei said that Ning Cheng had killed Duan Jingmu's physical body, he only regarded Ning Cheng as a primordial chaos sacred emperor with amazing potential. Maybe in the future he would not be a match for Ning Cheng, but he never thought that he would not be a match for Ning Cheng now. At this moment he could clearly see that he was not Ning Cheng's opponent. Duan Shiza might not be stable in merging his realm, but he was definitely much stronger than him. If his strength was comparable to Duan Shiza, then on what basis would he care about the opinion of the Duan clan of Seven Soas? Even with Duan Shiza's strength, he still died at Ning Cheng's hands. What qualifications did he, Sang Wanglong, have to fight Ning Cheng? Moreover, Ning Cheng's finger, Even if he was watching the fight from the side, he would still feel his heart palpitate. He could clearly sense that the laws of heaven and earth in the battle space between Ningcheng and Duan Shiza had started to shatter after Ningcheng used that finger. There was no way he, Sang Wanglong, could block this attack. Ningcheng was just about to speak when he suddenly heard Feng Huangmei's voice. Feng Huangmei didn't hold back. He told them about how Sang Wanglong and the others didn't object to the Duan clan's arrival. After listening to Feng Huangmei's words, Ningcheng no longer looked at Sang Wanglong politely. Dao friend Sang, you accepted the things but did not keep your word. Sang Wanglong spoke up with a bitter smile. This is my fault. I hope Brother Ning can forgive me. Duan Shi's strength is truly too formidable, and I'm not a match for him. However, I did not hesitate to oppose Lady Duan's request to leave Heavens Beyond in advance. Ningcheng lightly spoke up. Dao friend Sang, although it is impossible for us to become friends, but I like to speak the truth. If fellow Daoist Sang didn't object to this, then we wouldn't be talking here. The one facing fellow Daoist Sang would be me, Seven Bridges. Ningcheng knew that Sang Wanglong was telling the truth. Sang Wanglong's strength was indeed inferior to Duan Shiza. The reason why Sang Wanglong didn't stop the competition from being brought forward was most likely because he was seeking benefits for himself. Fellow Daoist Ning, since you've returned, let's continue with the meeting. As for the time of the competition, it will naturally be up to fellow Daoist Ning to decide. Sang Wanglong said with an apologetic smile. His realm was not afraid of Ningcheng, but he was. Since Ningcheng dared to kill the 7 Ways Duan clan's convergence realm expert, then Ningcheng would also dare to kill him. Ningcheng suddenly looked at Sang Wanglong with a meaningful smile. Dao friend Sang, let's talk about this matter after I come back. Perhaps there were others who disagreed with fellow Daoist Sang's words before I returned. Ningcheng felt sure that before he returned, Sang Wanglong would not dare to speak about the fight in advance, unless an expert stronger than Sang Wanglong came. If such an expert really came, the beyond of heaven and earth would be divided in advance. Then when he returned, he would snatch what was rightfully his. Why could people from other realms come and snatch but he couldn't? As for the person who disagreed with Sang Wanglong, it was the Divine Dao sect leader. Yemo Ningcheng had seen Yemo's power with his own eyes. Before he reached Dao integration, he was definitely no match for Yemo. Now that he was Dao integration, his power was probably about the same as Yemo plus. There were countless fortunes in the heaven and earth god tomb. He had gone in twice and found fortune. If he could get it, others could too. If he succeeded in Dao integration, who knew if the Divine Dao sect leader would improve? If he did, then even if they didn't agree to divide the beyond of heaven and earth through a battle, Sang Wanglong probably wouldn't say anything. Even if someone were to object, it would be the experts from the Heavenly Gates realm and the other realms who came to the sky beyond Avalon, not Sang Wanglong. Dao friend Ning, you're leaving again? Sang Wanglong asked in confusion. Ningcheng sneered. I'm not the kind of person to repay evil with good. The Duan clan tried to annihilate my realm many times and kill my people. If I don't kill them back, how can I face them? The instant Ningcheng saw Lu Dongsa's body destroyed and Ali killed, Ningcheng had made up his mind to annihilate the Duan clan. The Duan clan of 7 Soas was too vicious, a poisonous snake. If he couldn't annihilate the Duan clan today, then one day, they might kill everyone around him and even destroy the Great Essence realm. It wasn't the first time the Duan clan did this. Ningcheng didn't dare to place the safety of the Great Essence realm and the people around him on the kindness of a poisonous snake. Sang Wanglong, Yi Shangli and the others on hearing Ningcheng's words involuntarily shuddered. They heard that the Duan clan liked to annihilate their enemies' realms, but they didn't expect to meet someone who would return the favor. Dao friend Ning, we will definitely wait for Dao friend Ning to come back before discussing when to start the battle. Sang Wanglong said without hesitation. Senior Ning, if you go to the 7 Aqua realm, I'm willing to go with you. A young man standing behind Sang Wanglong suddenly stepped forward and bowed to Ningcheng. Ningcheng looked at this young man in confusion. This man's face was covered in scars and his body was covered in mottled Dao runes. It didn't seem like he cultivated a powerful cultivation method. However, Ningqing could tell that this man was a late-stage Dao integration holy emperor. With his cultivation method, he was already very lucky to reach the late-stage Dao integration holy emperor. Most likely, the late-stage Dao integration holy emperor was the highest realm he could reach in his life. Seeing Ningqing looking at him in confusion, the man suddenly said, "I'm Chang Buoxiao. I'm still alive to destroy the Duan clan." "You're the one from planet Zhanghua?" Feng Huangmei said in surprise, but he didn't finish his sentence. The scarred man bowed to Feng Huangmei and said in a calm tone, "That's right. I'm the unlucky Chang Buoxiao from planet Zhanghua. I live in hatred and guilt all the time. I only live for one purpose, and that is to destroy the Duan clan." Despite his calm tone, everyone could still see a trace of hatred in his eyes. Ningqing looked at Feng Huangmei. "Heavenly Lord Feng, you know Daoist Chang?" Feng Huangmei nodded and said with a trace of regret, "Yes, Daoist Chang had an accident in heavens beyond. I thought he had escaped long ago. I didn't expect him to stay in heavens beyond." Chang Buoxiao clenched his fists and said word by word, "I just had a conflict with a primordial chaos holy emperor from the Duan clan and I killed him. Even if the Duan clan wanted revenge, they should have come for me. In the end, they destroyed my planet Zhanghua. The nearly 10 billion lives on my planet are not even comparable to 10 billion flies in their eyes. I'm filled with hatred. I swear that if I don't destroy the Duan clan, I, Chang Buoxiao, will forever be an animal." Ningqing understood that Chang Buoxiao must have known that someone from the Duan clan had come here, so he wanted to fish in troubled waters. "Do you know how to get to the Duan clan?" Ningqing asked suddenly. Even though the hatred between Chang Buoxiao and the Duan clan of the Seven Soas couldn't be washed away with blood, a Dao integration final stage holy emperor really wasn't much help to Ningqing. If Chang Buoxiao knew how to get to the Duan clan, he would not have to look for the world of the Duan clan's experts. Ningqing had originally planned to look for Duan Shiza's world. An expert like Duan Shiza would definitely have a way to return to the Seven Aqua realm quickly. Now that Chang Buoxiao had such a deep hatred for the Duan clan, there was no reason not to find a way to get to the Duan clan quickly. Chang Buoxiao bowed to Ningqing and said, "Senior, I have a talisman. It's the Duan clan's positioning escape talisman. This talisman is very precious in the Duan clan, and it only has one function, which is to cross the void to the periphery of the Seven Aqua realm." "All right, since that's the case, let's go together," Ningqing immediately replied. Since Chang Buoxiao had a simple way to get to the Duan clan of the Seven Ways, he also didn't feel like searching for those ring worlds. Chang Buoxiao didn't speak nonsense. It only took him and Ningqing 3 days to reach the periphery of the Seven Aqua world. The periphery of the Seven Aqua world had a myriad of phenomena. When one's divine consciousness swept across, it felt like a vast sea of smoke. Not to mention a broken boundary like the Grand Essence realm. Even a boundary with complete laws like the Grand Change realm couldn't compare to the Seven Aqua realm. The Seven Aqua realm was different from the Beyond of Heaven and Earth. The Beyond of Heaven and Earth was a place where several plane realms intersected. One could not tell how vast and majestic it was. However, if one were to stand outside the Seven Aqua world, one would be able to clearly see the grand atmosphere. "Senior, the Duan clan of Seven Soas has as many experts as the clouds. I do have a way to borrow external help. I heard that there is a third step Dao spring in the Seven Aqua realm. If we can sneak into the Seven Aqua realm and break the Dao spring's restriction, we will be able to enter the Seven Aqua realm. It will probably attract all the experts in the Seven Aqua world to fight for it." Chang Buoxiao saw Ningqing staring at the vast Seven Aqua world in silence. He thought that Ningqing wanted to retreat and quickly spoke up. Ningqing showed a faint smile. "No, let's enter the Seven Aqua realm first." In Ningqing's opinion, using the Seven Aqua realm's third step Dao spring to cause everyone to fight over it was completely useless. No matter how good the Dao spring was, it was only something for cultivation and comprehension. There were so many experts in the Seven Aqua world. Even if the Dao spring was exposed, there wouldn't be much danger. However, Chang Buoxiao's words gave Ningqing some inspiration. Dao spring might not work, but he had something that could, the indestructible axe blade. If the Duan clan of Seven Soas had a few more experts like Duan Shiza, He could only come here and start a massacre. He might even have to flee in the end. However, it was different when he took out the indestructible axe's edge. The indestructible axe's edge was a remnant of a good fortune artifact. Moreover, it also contained the Tao charm of a good fortune cultivation method. Once he took out the indestructible axe's edge, the Duan clan of 7 Soas would definitely be targeted by many experts. At that time, he could just take the opportunity to kill them. As long as he killed the Unity Realm experts of the Duan clan of 7 Soas, the rest wouldn't be a threat to him. As long as the Duan clan of 7 Soas didn't perish, he wouldn't sleep well. If he could use the indestructible axe's edge fragment to destroy the 7 Aqua world, he wouldn't feel the slightest bit of regret. Chapter 1325. In the main hall of the heavens beyond of heaven and earth, Heavenly Lord Feng Huangmei, who had been stripped of his right to speak by the Duan clan of the 7 Pagodas, presided over the meeting once again. There was only one thing to discuss, which was to overturn the previous proposal of bringing forward the battle. After Ning Cheng returned, the battle to divide the beyond of heaven and earth would begin. This time, Sang Wanglong was the first to express his opinion. I agree with Sky Lord Feng's opinion. Since it was agreed upon, we naturally have to abide by it. Ding Jia, who wasn't qualified to participate in the meeting, was also present. After Sang Wanglong finished speaking, he immediately said, Sky Lord Feng is right. Since it's a competition, everyone naturally needs to be present. The Sacred Tao Sect Master hasn't returned to heavens beyond for the time being due to some matters. I feel that besides waiting for Taoist Ning, we should also wait for the Sacred Tao Sect Master to return. Sang Wanglong looked at Yen Lai from the 3 Elements realm, Zhuo Ming from the 9 Heavens realm, and the others from the 3 Elements realm. However, many of them were sent by some small domains and were not qualified to speak at all. In Sang Wanglong's opinion, with the scene of Ningchen killing Duan Shiza, Yen Lai and Zhuo Ming would definitely stand up and agree immediately. Unexpectedly, Yen Qin shrugged and didn't say anything. Yen Lai did not say anything. Instead, the ordinary-looking woman beside him cupped her fists and said, The 3 Elements realm does not agree to this. The realignment of the beyond of heaven and earth is a big deal. This was not something that could be decided by just a few people. This was a problem that concerned all the major domains. This kind of thing should naturally be resolved as soon as possible. Everyone agreed to bring forward the competition, and the date has also been set. How can it be changed just because one person said so? If this woman hadn't spoken up, Sang Wanglong wouldn't have paid any attention to her. Now that she had spoken up, Sang Wanglong realized that he couldn't see through her cultivation. Could it be that he was a fusing realm expert? But why had he been following behind Yen Lai without saying a word? Before Sang Wanglong could figure out what was going on, another white-haired old man stood up. I think that Taoist me from the 3 elemental world is right. I, Liao Qianluo, will not agree to delay the battle either. For us, the division of the beyond of heaven and earth has been delayed long enough. It was ridiculous to delay the battle because 1 or 2 people had not arrived. Since it's a duel, those who don't show up will automatically forfeit. This time, Sang Wanglong was sure that this was another fusing realm expert. Unlike that woman, he hadn't seen this white-haired old man in the previous meetings. He reckoned that he was a realm integration expert from the realm of 9 heavens who had just arrived here. Sang Wanglong didn't say anything after 2 harmony realm experts stepped forward to speak. He could speak up for Ning Cheng, but it did not mean that he would block the spear for Ning Cheng. It seemed like the beyond of heaven and earth status in the various plane realms had risen once again. Otherwise, there would not have been so many integration realm experts coming here. He wondered if the Heavenly Gate realm would also send an integration realm expert. I think the 2 Taoists from the 3 Elements realm and the 9 Heavens realm are right. We should hold the competition as soon as possible. Wanglong, you've been in the beyond of heaven and earth for such a long time. Logically speaking, you should have resolved this matter long ago. Up until now, this matter had not been resolved. This was really not right. I also heard that apart from the indestructible axe, the creation green lotus has also started to condense. Sang Wanglong was still thinking about the Heavenly Gate realm, when an abrupt voice appeared at the entrance of the hall. Everyone in the hall was shocked when they saw a long-haired man standing at the entrance. They couldn't tell his age, but his long white hair was really eye-catching. There were no Dao runes circulating around him, but he gave off a powerful pressure that was as vast as a mountain. More importantly, he was carrying a petite woman in red clothes in his hand. Many people knew this petite woman. She was Tang Tsongyin, who had defeated the Creation Realm expert from the Duan clan of 7 Pagodas when she was at the Dao Integration Realm. Sage Monarch Han Huang. Ding Jie was the first to stand up and exclaim in shock. Without Tang Tsongyin, Ding Jie wouldn't have dared to step forward and speak no matter how dissatisfied he was with this person. Given this person's terrifying strength, he would probably be killed with a casual strike. However, Tang Tsongyin had saved his life. How could he not be furious when she was being held in someone's hand? Hurry up and put down Lord Sage Han Huang. Ding Jie leaped out angrily. Even though the other party was an Integration Realm expert, Ding Jie couldn't help but rush out when his savior was being restrained. How dare a primordial chaos weakling be rude to me? The white-haired man holding Tang Tsongyin snorted angrily and raised his hand to slap Ding Jie. Ding Jie's entire body was like a kite with a broken string. He was restrained by the Dao runes of his slap and slammed into the wall of the hall. While the sound of bones cracking was heard, the Dao runes around Ding Jie exploded wildly. Even an idiot would know that this slap had destroyed Ding Jie's bones and Dao runes. You did have a few moves. The Integration Realm expert saw that Ding Jie's bones and Dao runes had only been destroyed by his slap. It seemed like this puny late-stage primordial chaos cultivator wasn't simple either. Even though he hadn't used his full strength, Ding Jie had been able to block his slap, which meant that he wasn't an ordinary primordial chaos cultivator. When Sang Wanglong saw this person and heard Ding Jie's words, he hurriedly stood up and said with cupped fists, "Daoist Mu, it's you. I'm sorry that I couldn't welcome you earlier." Sang Wanglong spoke politely, but he felt extremely uncomfortable deep down. He knew this person, who was also from the Sky Gate realm like him. His name was Mu Qiangjue. Unfortunately, Mu Qiangjue's strength was far stronger than his. He was a true Integration Realm expert, and could even be considered a powerful person among Integration Realm experts. He simply couldn't refute Mu Qiangjue's words. Although he and Mu Qiangjue were both members of the Sky Gate Realm Union, their sects were different. Mu Qiangjue's sect was the Thunder Sound Valley, while his sect was the South Ridra Pavilion. In terms of strength, the South Ridra Pavilion was far inferior to the Thunder Sound Valley. Furthermore, the South Ridra Pavilion and the Thunder Sound Valley had always been estranged. At that moment, Mu Qiangjue was speaking in a condescending manner in front of him. It would be strange if he felt comfortable. Mu Qiangjue slapped Ding Jie and sent him flying. Then he waved his hand nonchalantly and said to Sang Wanglong, "This isn't about you and me. It concerns the Sky Gate realm. You've worked hard during this period of time. Leave the rest of the competition to me. Since Ning Cheng hasn't come, we naturally can't wait for him. As for the Sacred Dao sect, we won't wait either. The division of heavens beyond is a big matter for the various planes and realms. It has nothing to do with those uneducated sects in small places." Ding Jie had only angrily asked Mu Qiangjue to quickly put down Tang Tsongyin. In Mu Qiangjue's eyes, he had offended someone from a small sect. Sang Wanglong didn't say anything, as he knew that this matter had blown up. If Ning Cheng hadn't come back and killed Duan Shiza, he wouldn't have thought this way. According to Feng Huangmei, the Sacred Dao sect's sect master seemed to be stronger than Ning Cheng. Now that Ning Cheng could kill an Integration Realm expert, and Mu Qiangjue had almost killed Ding Jie, it would be strange if the Sacred Dao sect's sect master would let it go after he came back. Even though he didn't tell Mu Qiangjue how stupid he had been, his expression was equally ugly. He was very unhappy with Mu Qiangjue's arrogance, but Mu Qiangjue had come from the Heavenly Gates Realm Alliance after all. At the very least, he was on the same side as him now. Oh, when did I agree to the division of Heavens Beyond? Even if Heavens Beyond needs to be redivided, it's not up to an outsider like you to tell us what to do. After Mu Qiangjue said that, another indifferent voice was heard. Everyone in the hall looked behind Mu Qiangjue in shock. They had clearly seen Mu Qiangjue before, but they hadn't seen anyone else come. It was an extremely young man with black hair casually tied into a starry sky cultivator's bun. He carried a sheathless purple saber on his back and stood behind Mu Qiangjue in blue robes. Mu Qiangjue was even more shocked. He took a step back and turned to stare at the blue-robed young man in front of him. He was so powerful, but he hadn't noticed that the other party had appeared behind him just now. You're the sacred Dao sect master? You were the one who set up the defense array here, right? Mu Qiangjue asked solemnly when he was completely facing the blue-robed youth. He had already confirmed one thing. No one could sneak up behind him unknowingly, let alone a mere Dao integration late-stage cultivator. The only explanation was that the defensive array of this hall was set up by this person before him. That was how he was able to sneak up behind him unknowingly. That's right, I'm Divine Dao sect leader Yi Mo. I set up the defense formation here indeed. Put her down. Is kidnapping a woman even human? Yi Mo's tone was still cold. Only Feng Huangmei knew that this was a sign that Yi Mo was going to kill. Right now he was merely enduring. And there was only one reason why he was enduring. Tang Tsongyin was being carried by Mu Qiangjue. If Yi Mo attacked now, Tang Tsongyin would be the first cannon fodder. Master, you're finally back. Ding Jie wanted to laugh, but he could only spit out a few mouthfuls of blood. I've been bullied by this beast. Just 2 sentences were enough to make him gasp for breath. Yi Mo's killing intent came wave after wave. Although he didn't release it, he already considered Mu Qiangjue a dead man. He dared to kill his brother in abstruse yellow heaven beyond heaven. If he didn't annihilate this person's soul, he wasn't Ding Jie's brother. Yi Mo resisted the killing intent and threw a few pills into Ding Jie's mouth. Then he barely said, I'll introduce a good place for you to quickly reach Dao integration. At that time, killing these beasts will be as easy as killing ants. Then, Yi Mo continued to stare at Mu Qiangjue. Mu Qiangjue laughed heartily. When I, Mu Qiangjue, dominated all of the realms, where was a puny Dao integration stage holy emperor like you? You don't deserve me to kidnap a woman. As he spoke, the Daoist rhyme in his hand swept out, and Tang Tsongyin was swept up by a violent Daoist rhyme power before she was sent flying towards the walls of the hall. Chapter 1326. The Dao wave wrapping around Tang Tsongyin was too powerful. Feng Huangmei really wanted to help, but he was too weak compared to Mu Qiangjue. This powerful Dao wave was definitely going to turn Tang Tsongyin into a bloody mist. Even if he wanted to help, he couldn't because his spirit sense couldn't seep into Mu Qiangjue's powerful Dao wave power. Thud crack. At the same time, Tang Tsongyin was swept out. Yi Mo moved. His figure directly passed through space and appeared in front of Tang Tsongyin. An even more terrifying Daoist rhyme suddenly burst out. The dull Daoist rhyme exploded, and the Daoist rhyme rule power that wrapped around Tang Tsongyin was immediately torn apart. The next moment, Tang Tsongyin was grabbed by Yi Mo and sent to Feng Huangmei's side. Because Yi Mo forcefully reached Dao integration tertiary stage, his Dao wave wasn't stable at all. That uncontrollable and powerful Dao rune power directly tore apart the defense array of the conference hall. Mu Qiangjue, who didn't even consider Yi Mo a threat, narrowed his eyes. He could tell Yi Mo's cultivation level wasn't stable. He seemed to have forcefully raised his cultivation level to Dao integration tertiary stage. Now that he attacked, that violent Dao wave power could no longer be hidden. At the same time, he felt a powerful aura that was not any weaker than his own. This definitely wasn't something a Dao integration divine emperor could give off. No, even a world creation state might not have such a powerful qi. No matter how strong a Dao integration divine emperor was, how could he have such powerful Dao wave force? Dao friend Yi, I've let go of your friend. We can have a good talk now. Mu Qiangjue changed his mind after feeling Yi Mo's power. If that Ningcheng also had such power, then he really wouldn't be a match if the two joined up. As for Sang Wanglong, he didn't expect him to help him. Powerful beings from other realms? Haha, there was no way he would help him. Before Mu Qiangjue finished, a twisted purple sword ray hacked at him. Falling mark sword rune. Mu Qiangjue told Yi Mo to stop while he released his magic artifact purple cloud wheel. Rays of purple light suddenly appeared and spread out from the inside. With this, Mu Qiangjue's domain became more condensed and powerful. He had decided to block Yimo's strike first, and then they could discuss. He was going to let Yimo know that even if they really fought, he wasn't scared of anyone. The twisted saber patterns clashed with the protective domain formed by the fusion of the purple wheel light, and the Dao patterns scattered everywhere. It was clearly a void, but everyone seemed to see a huge vertical lake that had been slashed by the saber pattern. The lake's surface became firmer and firmer under the Dao wave of the purple wheel. Yimo's falling mark sword rune seemed to be unable to go in any further. Mu Qiangjue heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed like the other party was only SOSO. Just as he was about to open his mouth to speak, his divine sense was like scattered dry firewood, completely bound together by a long rope. Mu Qiangjue was horrified. The sacred Dao sect master was only at the Dao integration realm. Yet he could bind his spiritual sense. What kind of terrifying spiritual sense cultivation technique was this? He didn't have time to think about what cultivation method Yimo used. His spirit sense was bound, and the wheel Dao waves instantly weakened. Even he couldn't imagine the weakening speed. Not good. Mu Qiangjue knew that if this continued, he would be sliced in half by the purple sword rune. Before his spirit sense could close, Mu Qiangjue's sea of consciousness shot out beams of light. Under these beams of light, his spirit sense seemed to be about to break free. Mu Qiangjue finally felt a little assured. 1 second later, his spirit sense would break free and he would immediately leave the battlefield. Thud. A flame that appeared out of nowhere exploded at the same time as the explosion of his Dao light. Before the bound spiritual sense could disperse, it was burned by this flame. Mu Qiangjue howled in pain. Even though he was a Dao integration realm master, he couldn't handle the terrifying torment of the divine flame burning his spirit sense. The purple light Dao wave of the purple cloud heaven wheel turned into thin paper. The twisted purple sword rune sliced through Mu Qiangjue's domain like tofu. Mu Qiangjue guessed right that Yimo's sword would break open his domain, but he didn't guess the result. The purple blade sliced through his body, but it did not cut him in half. Instead, it turned him into a bloody mist. Not even his primordial spirit remained. The entire palace was silent. Ningcheng used all sorts of lethal moves to kill Duan Shiza, but now, this divine Dao sect leader killed Mu Qiangjue as easily as breathing. It was as though as soon as the battle started, it was over. Then, Mu Qiangjue no longer existed in this world. Even the 2 Dao integration realm masters from 3 Essence realm and 9 Heavens realm didn't dare to say anything. They could tell Mu Qiangjue was stronger than them, and Mu Qiangjue only needed 1 strike to kill him. Even if they stood up, it would probably still be 1 strike. Who still wants to claim our divine Dao sect's land? Yimo scanned across Sang Wanglong and them. Even when he scanned everyone in the palace, no one spoke up. Ding Jie got up with Tang Tsongyin's help. Yimo hacked Mu Qiangjue with 1 strike. This made his blood boil. Even though he was pretty much a cripple now, he had made up his mind that as long as he could recover, he would go out and trial again. One day he would be able to hack a Dao integration realm master like Mu Qiangjue in 1 strike. Feng Huangmei walked over and took out a map of abstruse yellow heavens beyond realm, and gave it to Yimo sect leader Yi. This is the map. Everyone discussed before that we would choose a new realm based on the results. Yimo's eyes fell on the map and knew what Feng Huangmei meant. It was because the first-grade domains in this domain were far larger than the current territory of his mysterious yellow sect. Moreover, the area they occupied was also much better than the current one. Since sect leader Yi doesn't want to take out your realm, then we'll take the divine Dao sect's realm and divide the other places. The Dao integration realm woman from 3 Essence realm finally stood up. Yimo was so powerful that he wouldn't even hesitate to kill Mu Qiangjue. She would probably end up the same if she opposed. Sang Wanglong woke up from his shock and saluted with his fists to Yimo. Heaven Gate Realm Sang Wanglong greet sect leader. Of course we won't reject sect leader Ye's opinion. But sect leader Yi just killed Mu Qiangjue from Heaven Gate Realm. He's an elder of Lightning Sound Valley. Yimo's eyes fell on Sang Wanglong's face and said calmly, then tell him to come find me. After saying that, he ignored Sang Wanglong and said to everyone, "As for the division of the world, I agree because of Heaven Lord Feng Huangmei. My divine Dao sect will also participate in this division." Sect leader, you're finally back. Huang Ping's foundation has been crippled. A young pretty woman walked in quickly and said from afar. Because the Heaven Lord Palace's defense formation was broken, there was no more obstruction between the Heaven Lord Palace's meeting hall and the outside. If there was a top 10 sect power in the 7 Sea realm, the Duan family would definitely be in there. If one were to search for the top 5 sects among these 10, the Duan clan of the 7 Ways would also be among them. However, the Duan clan of the 7 SOS wasn't ranked in the top 10 of the 7 SOS world. Some people who didn't know the truth thought that the Duan clan of the 7 SOS was magnanimous and unwilling to snatch the territories of weaker sections. But only some core members of the Duan family knew that the reason they didn't want to move was because there was a Dao Spring mountain here. There was a Dao Spring in the mountain. This Dao Spring could let Dao Integration Divine Emperor feel a sliver of third step Dao Qi. Because of these Dao Springs, the Duan clan of 7 Ways had more third step experts than other sections. Boom! A huge explosion erupted at the top of the Dao Spring. Almost everyone in the Duan clan of 7 Soas was shocked by this violent explosion of Dao runes. The most prestigious place in the Duan family was naturally the Dao Spring Mountain. Those who could live at the top of the Dao Spring were either at Unity Realm, or almost half step into Unity Realm. No matter how powerful a sect was, there wouldn't be many Unity Realm experts. The Duan clan of 7 Soas had a lot of Integration Realm experts. They had a total of 3 Integration Realm experts and 1 expert who was half a step into the Integration Realm. It's Elder Zay's cave abode. The expressions of everyone in the Duan family changed when the Dao runes exploded. Those who cultivated to the 3rd step would not leave a soul card. Once these experts perished, the Dao runes they left in their cave abodes would explode. How was this possible? How could they perish after cultivating to the Unity Realm? Even if they were surrounded by a few Unity Realm experts, the chances of them perishing were extremely low. Boom. Boom. Before the people in the Duan family could react, 2 more intense Dao runes exploded. This time, it's Elder Yu Wu and Elder Liang Yu's cave abodes. Even an idiot knew that Duan Shiza, Duan Yu Wu, and Duan Liang Yu had perished. This was because they had gone to heavens beyond at the same time, and their cave abodes had exploded with Dao runes. A shrill warning bell rang. At that moment, almost everyone rushed to the main peak of the family. The Duan family had lost 2 Creation Realm experts and 1 Unity Realm expert at the same time. This was like a bolt from the blue to the Duan family. If even 3 third step experts had perished, then the Dao Integration Sacred Emperors would definitely perish as well. Duan Yingyan was the strongest Unity Realm expert in the Duan family. He was also the only late-stage Unity Realm expert in the Duan family. His face was livid as he stood on the square of the Duan family, his body filled with killing intent. In the past, the Duan family had only destroyed planets and killed people. Now someone had actually attacked the Duan clan of the 7 pagodas, and killed 3 third-step experts at once, including Duan Jingmu, whose body had been destroyed. There were 4 of them. In addition, there were also several Dao Integration Sacred Emperors. If they had been bullied like this, the Duan clan of the 7 Soas would have retaliated crazily. Otherwise, the Duan clan of the 7 Soas wouldn't have flourished so much in the 7 Soas world. Chapter 1327. Today is a disgrace to the Duan clan of 7 SOS. 3 third-step Dao validation experts of the Duan clan of 7 SOS perished in an insignificant place called Heavens Beyond. Duan Shiza, a third-step realm integration Grand Elder, Duan Yu Wu and Duan Liang Yu, creation realm elders of the Duan clan of 7 SOS. They were all killed within a few days, and the Dao rune intent they left in the cave abode exploded today. In addition, several Dao Integration Divine Emperors of the Duan clan of 7 SOS were also killed in Heavens Beyond. In addition, Duan Jingmu, the third-step elder of the Duan clan of 7 SOS, also had his body destroyed. When has the Duan clan of 7 SOS been bullied to this extent? All the disciples of the Duan clan of 7 SOS, tell me, Do you want to take revenge? Revenge, revenge. As Duan Yinyan's voice fell, the surroundings were filled with cries of revenge. Duan Yinyan waited for the cries to die down before shouting sternly, "All third-step divine emperors of the Duan clan of 7 SOS, follow me to heavens beyond now." Ning Cheng had been outside the Duan clan of 7 SOS for more than 2 days. In order to hide the indestructible axe's blade, Ning Cheng had been setting up a restriction array and a small void teleportation array outside the defense array of the Duan clan of 7 SOS. The defense array of the Duan clan of 7 SOS was too strong and Chang Buoxiao was too weak, so Ning Cheng did not ask him to come. However, Chang Buoxiao insisted on hiding in the outermost area, so Ning Cheng could not be bothered. He knew what Chang Buoxiao meant. Chang Buoxiao wanted to kill everyone in the Duan clan of 7 SOS. Once the battle started, he would stop the disciples who wanted to escape from the Duan clan of 7 SOS. Ning Cheng had sensed the explosion of Dao runes in the depths of the Duan clan of 7 SOS, but he did not know what had happened there. Ning Cheng was a little surprised to hear angry cries coming from the Duan clan of 7 SOS. He had been very careful when he came here, and did not alarm the Duan clan of 7 SOS when he set up the array. Why was there such a big commotion? Ning Cheng had originally wanted to set up a few more void teleportation arrays, but he decided not to wait after hearing the commotion. He threw out several array flags in his hand. As these array flags were thrown down, the terrifying Dao charm aura of the Undying Axe, which was bound by the array flags, rushed into the sky. At that moment, everyone in the Duan clan of 7 SOS stared at the edge of the most inconspicuous mountain range outside the defense array. They could actually sense the Dao rune aura of a creation magic treasure there. Moreover, this aura contained the aura of the Grand Dao of Creation. What else could a Dharma treasure that contained the aura of the Great Dao of Creation be if not a Dharma treasure of creation? Duan Yinyan was the strongest, so he was the first to react. When he determined that this was the Dao charm aura of the Good Fortune Indestructible Axe, his figure immediately flashed over. At the same time, he opened the defense array. At this moment his heart was pounding. He hadn't thought too much about it yet. The Dao rune aura of the Creation Dharma treasure had appeared when the Duan clan of 7 SOAs wanted to go to the beyond of heaven and earth to take revenge. Did this not mean that the Duan clan of 7 SOAs had great luck? He had to lock the aura of this creation magic treasure as soon as possible, and then put it away. Otherwise, this thing would soon spread throughout the entire 7 SOA's realm. Duan Yinyan's speed was not slow. Before the others could react, he had already arrived in front of the magic treasure that was emitting the Dao charm aura of the creation Dao. He saw a defense array, and the Dao rune aura of the Grand Dao of Creation came from this defense array. Unfortunately, his spiritual consciousness couldn't penetrate this defense array. He could vaguely sense that this was the Dao rune aura of the Good Fortune Indestructible Axe, and it was the aura of the Broken Indestructible Axe. Boom. Duan Yinyan didn't even think before punching out. Although Ning Cheng had set up several layers of the defense array, it didn't have much resistance against Duan Yinyan's punch. After this punch, it shattered directly. At that moment, Ning Cheng threw out the second array flag. While throwing out the array flag, Ning Cheng was also secretly shocked. His speed was a little slower. If he had thrown out the array flag a little faster, perhaps Duan Yinyan's punch wouldn't have landed. However, he didn't expect Duan Yinyan's speed to be so fast. They were both experts in the convergence realm, but Duan Yinyan's strength was far stronger than Duan Shi's. Duan Yinyan's punch easily blasted open Ning Cheng's defense array, but the Dao rune aura of the Good Fortune Indestructible Axe disappeared. In another corner far away from him, an even more powerful Grand Dao of Creation aura erupted. Duan Yinyan was slightly startled, but he instantly understood what was going on. Someone had deliberately arranged this. When he was about to grab the Good Fortune magic treasure, the other party used a transfer array disc to teleport the Good Fortune magic treasure to another corner. There was obviously only one purpose: to attract experts from the 7 SOA's world to snatch the Good Fortune magic treasure from the Duan clan. Everyone in the Duan clan of 7 SOAs, listen up. No matter who snatches this Good Fortune magic treasure, they can live in the Dao Spring Mountain. Duan Yinyan shouted without hesitation. He immediately let all the disciples of the Duan clan of Seven Soas start to snatch the broken indestructible axe that emitted the aura of the good fortune magic treasure. The Dao runes of the good fortune magic treasure were very sensitive. Not to mention that Ning Cheng had taken the initiative to activate the broken indestructible axe's good fortune cultivation technique aura. When Ning Cheng moved the broken indestructible axe for the first time, some experts had already sensed this aura. When Ning Cheng moved the broken indestructible axe for the second time, everyone in the Duan clan of Seven Soas started to snatch the broken indestructible axe. Some third-step experts who weren't from the Duan clan of Seven Soas rushed towards the location of the broken indestructible axe. Not everyone was like Zhong Wuqian, who valued the seven bridges more than the broken indestructible axe. What's more, the experts who rushed over did not know that it was just a broken blade of the indestructible axe. Before outsiders joined in, perhaps the Duan clan of Seven Soas would just compete with each other. But once outsiders joined in, it would not be as simple as a competition. Blood mist filled the air, and the real massacre began. No matter how strong the Duan clan of Seven Soas was, it was only in the eyes of the weaker small planets and sections. Real experts did not fear the strength of the Duan clan of Seven Soas. What's more, Ning Cheng had placed the broken indestructible axe outside the Duan clan of Seven Soas' defense array. As more and more people joined in, the massacre became more and more intense. In the end, Ning Cheng did not even need to control the indestructible axe's broken blade to change its position. Instead, people would stop and snatch it from each other. Boom! A terrifying Dao charm power blocked Duaningyan's path, and Duaningyan suddenly felt afraid. He saw countless disciples of the Duan clan of Seven Soas being easily beheaded. He also saw more and more people joining in this unreasonable massacre. Someone could even stop him. Although that person immediately rushed to snatch the good fortune weapon after blocking him, he still could not suppress the fear in his heart. It was not that he was afraid of dying, but that the Duan clan of Seven Soas would perish. Under such an intense battle, the Duan clan of Seven Soas' defense array had long since turned into a mess. The dead disciples turned into a blood mist, and the scattered Dao charm aura turned the entire Duan clan of Seven Soas into a living hell. All disciples of the Duan clan of Seven Soas, withdraw from the fight. Duaningyan screamed. If this was any other place he would not have cared. But this was the lair of the Duan clan of Seven Soas. Which one of those who could come here to fight wasn't an expert among experts? If he did not give the order, everyone in the Duan clan of Seven Soas would be killed. Unfortunately, even if they could hear his order, it would not be easy for them to withdraw amid so many robberies and killings. No matter how strong the Duan clan of Seven Soas was, it could not scare those true experts. Duaningyan's hands were trembling. His Dao had reached the late-stage realm integration realm, so he had gradually understood the Dao of heaven and earth. When the situation was out of his control, he could not help but be afraid. It was only now that he knew what kind of ruthless person the Duan clan of Seven Soas had offended. The other party had not waited for the Duan clan of Seven Soas to find the beyond of heaven and earth. Exterminating a clan or a world was not something that the Duan clan of Seven Soas could do. He suddenly thought of the Dao integration alchemy Saint Fei Yin of the Seven Soas realm. Fei Yin was one of his few friends in the Seven Soas realm. After the Duan clan of the Seven Aquas destroyed a small planet, Fei Yin, who had come to visit, had said this to him. Brother Yin, the universe is vast and boundless. There are countless experts, not just our Seven Aquas realm. Brother Yin, you still have to restrain the Duan clan's disciples in the future. Don't destroy a planet for no reason. Every debt has its debtor. Destroying a planet is too immoral, and the killing is too heavy. His answer was still fresh in his memory. Brother Yin, why do we cultivate? If we are restrained, how can we find the true essence of the Tao? The Duan clan of Seven Soas has stood tall until now because of our imposing manner and our strong belief that we cannot be provoked by any dust. Every disciple of the Duan clan of Seven Soas will be proud of the Duan clan of Seven Soas. I will never have any hindrance in my heart because of anything. Fei Yin shook his head. Brother Yin, I still stand by what I said. The Duan clan of Seven Soas is not the ruler of the vast universe, and cannot do what you said. If we are forced into a corner, it will not be beneficial for the Duan clan of 7 Soas. These memories flashed across Duan Yin's mind. He only knew that Fei Yin had not contacted him much since then. As an expert of the Duan clan of 7 Soas, he naturally would not seek an explanation from Fei Yin. The smell of blood permeated the air, and Duan Yin immediately sobered up. Stop, everyone stop. The people in the melee really stopped. After Duan Yin's voice faded, they did not move at all. Duan Yin was not surprised at all. Instead, he looked at the vast void above the Duan clan of 7 Soas in horror. In the void, a violent and majestic killing intent slashed down. Under this majestic killing intent, the 7 Soas realm's defensive array directly shattered. An earth-shattering axe shadow slashed down from the void. This killing intent shrouded all the experts who were fighting for the indestructible axe's blade. At this moment, the entire space was filled with death, oppression, destruction, and despair. Duan Yin's face was extremely pale. Under this terrifying axe intent, he could not speak even if he wanted to. This giant axe seemed to slash down from the edge of the universe. Anything in front of the giant axe would be crushed into pieces. Ning Cheng, who was hiding far away from the Duan clan of 7 Soas, was also suppressed by this aura. Good fortune indestructible axe. Ning Cheng was extremely shocked. This was the second time he saw the good fortune indestructible axe. Chapter 1328. Compared to the axe trace that he had seen in the Jiaoliang mountain, the killing intent of this axe was more than 100 times stronger than the one he had seen in the past. When the axe completely enveloped the entire space, all the other auras disappeared, leaving only one kind of aura, that of death. Several late-stage Unity Realm experts, after being suppressed for a short while, started to burn their Dao charm frantically, trying to break through the vast killing intent of the axe and escape. Ning Cheng wanted to hide in his mysterious yellow bead, but he didn't dare to. It was hard to say that this axe wasn't controlled by someone. If someone was controlling it, then the mysterious yellow bead's owner would discover the mysterious yellow bead the next moment. In just a breath's time, the axe fell. Boom, boom, boom. The violent Dao charm exploded. The mountains and rivers collapsed, the laws shattered, and a black hole appeared in the void torn apart by the axe. Ning Cheng gave out a sigh, and the good fortune spirit spear transformed into a protective spear pattern that blocked the terrifying killing intent. Kachapoof. The spear pattern shattered, and a bloody light appeared. The monstrous axe shadow also disappeared without a trace at this moment. The axe lines that tore apart the Dao charm started to corrode Ning Cheng's body. Ning Cheng swallowed several healing pills. Under the circulation of the Dao charm, the axe lines quickly dispersed the corrosive axe lines that tore apart his Dao charm. Previously, he had to use the recalling Bodhi seed to comprehend samsara to escape from an axe line. If not for the recalling Bodhi seed, he would have already fallen. This time, he faced the indestructible axe head-on, but he only suffered minor injuries. Ning Cheng glanced at the place where the indestructible axe disappeared in the void, and remembered this karma in his heart. He had never tried to provoke the indestructible axe, but he ended up getting hit twice. So what if it was a good fortune treasure? He also had a good fortune treasure. Slowly calming down the Dao charm around his body, Ning Cheng's gaze once again fell on the location of the 7 Ways Duan clan. The previously beautiful 7 Ways Duan clan no longer had even the slightest shadow of its former self. Only a deep axe mark remained in front of him. Because this axe tore through the laws of space, the mountains and rivers had all turned into ruins. The indestructible axe's blade fragment that he left behind had also disappeared. As for the 7 Ways Duan clan's disciples, he hadn't seen a single one. Even the powerhouses who had come to snatch the indestructible axe's blade fragment did not leave a single trace behind. Ning Cheng was secretly startled in his heart, although he did not have even the slightest favorable impression towards the indestructible axe, but the formidable killing intent emanating from the indestructible axe still left a lingering fear in his heart. If he had not been at the outermost edge, then perhaps he would have been one of the people who disappeared. Although Ning Cheng guessed that under the powerful killing intent of the indestructible axe, Some of the powerhouses in the melee should have managed to escape, but the number of people who managed to escape would definitely not exceed the fingers on one hand. As Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out, he immediately sensed even more auras rushing towards him. He knew that experts from the Seven Hua world had come to investigate after Duan clan of the Seven Hua world was killed by the Undying Axe. The Duan clan of Seven Soas had been annihilated. Although he wasn't the one who did it, it was directly related to him. Ning Cheng shook his head. After not finding Chang Buoxiao, he quickly retreated. Although Chang Buoxiao was on the edge compared to him, Chang Buoxiao's strength was just too weak. Therefore, it was normal for him to be unable to block the Dao charm killing intent of the indestructible axe. However, Chang Buoxiao's wish had been fulfilled. At the very least, the Duan clan of the Seven SOS had been annihilated. He wouldn't have any regrets even if he died. Before Ning Cheng returned to Heavens Beyond, the news of the indestructible axe tearing apart the Seven Hua world's realm protection and directly killing the Duan clan of the Seven Soas had already spread to Heavens Beyond. Not many people in Heavens Beyond did not know that Ning Cheng had left Heavens Beyond and gone to the Seven Hua world. Now that Ning Cheng had yet to return, the Duan clan of the Seven Soas had already disappeared from the long river of history. Everyone knew that it was necessary for Heavens Beyond to be redivided. In Heavens Beyond, no one dared to offend Ning Cheng or the sacred Dao sect anymore. Heavens Beyond used to be a small place, but there were two ruthless Dao integration realm experts here. One of them had dared to kill an expert from the Heavenly Gate realm, the #1 major realm, with one saber move, while the other had directly gone to the Seven Hua world to annihilate the Duan clan of the Seven Soas. Sang Wanglong was even more low-key and silent. The sacred Dao sect master had killed Mu Qiangjue from the Heavenly Gate realm's Thunderclap Valley. Even the Heavenly Gate realm would not let this matter go, let alone the Thunderclap Valley. He had seen the strength of the sacred Dao sect master with his own eyes. From the bottom of his heart, he really did not want to get involved. However, Sang Wanglong was a member of the Heavenly Gate Realm Alliance. Once the Heavenly Gate Realm Alliance appeared, he would have to get involved even if he did not want to. On the Heavens Beyond square, shadows were teleported out of the void array door. When these shadows landed on the square, they immediately brought with them a valiant aura oppression. Quan Shi, who was guarding the edge of the square, was forced to take a few steps back by this powerful oppression. Then he looked in shock at the row of more than 10 experts in front of him. He was sure that none of these people was weaker than Heavenly Lord Feng. Some of them were even far stronger than him. It's indeed a place that connects several planes and realms. There are many void array doors that lead to this place. A golden-haired man was walking in front. The golden-haired man had extremely white skin, a long face, and strange inverted triangular eyes. The Dao runes around him condensed, giving people the feeling that the space he was in would collapse if he exerted force. Quan Shi reacted and took a deep breath. Then he quickly walked up and bowed with cupped fists. Heavens Beyond Quan Shi greet seniors. The golden-haired man did not look at the bowing Quan Shi at all. Instead, he looked at the void in front of the square. A moment later, a figure appeared in the void. "Brother Ning, you're back." Quan Shi was delighted when he saw this figure, and hurried forward to greet him. He naturally knew that Ning Cheng had gone to the Seven Soi realm. He had also heard about the destruction of the Seven Soi Duan clan. Although the Seven Soi Duan clan had been destroyed by the Good Fortune Indestructible Axe, he did not think that Ning Cheng had nothing to do with it. The Seven Soi Duan clan had existed for many years. Why would Ning Cheng be destroyed by the Good Fortune Indestructible Axe when he went there? Get lost. When the golden-haired man saw that Quan Shi had actually spoken to Ning Cheng before him, he snorted and raised his hand to wave out a Dao rune. Boom. The Dao rune did not hit Quan Shi's body. Instead, it was dispersed by Ning Cheng's punch. Such a powerful law control. The golden-haired man looked at Ning Cheng and asked, "Who are you? Are you the sacred Dao sect's sect master, Yemo?" Ning Cheng could also feel the power of this group of people. After he helped Quan Shi block this disaster, he didn't continue to look for the golden-haired man. Instead, he saluted Quan Shi with his fists and said, "That's right, I'm back. How is Heaven Lord Feng?" Quan Shi was from Feng Huangmei and was a good person. Ningqing had a good impression of him. The golden-haired man saw that Ningqing also ignored him and snorted, "I'm Tu Lianyu from the Heaven Gate Realm." Heaven Gate Realm? Ningqing thought of Sang Wanglong. He didn't have a good impression of Sang Wanglong, but he didn't have a bad impression either. Seeing this, he nodded and saluted with his fists, "Ningqing from the Great Essence Realm." After saying this, Ningqing's gaze fell on the dozen or so people behind Tu Lianyu. Immediately his eyes twitched. Among these dozen or so people, the weakest was probably no weaker than Feng Huangmei at the third step. A few of them weren't much weaker than Tu Lianyu. Whether it was an illusion realm or a fake realm, they were a group of true powerhouses. As for Tu Lianyu walking at the front, Ningqing estimated that he was at the peak of the Unity realm. "Oh, so you're not EMO?" Tu Lianyu's face eased up and he nodded. Quan Shi quickly transmitted his voice to Ningqing. "Brother Ning, the Divine Dao Sect Master is back and killed Heaven Gate Realm's Unity Realm expert, Mu Qiangjue. These people probably came here to get revenge on the Divine Dao Sect." Although Quan Shi was quite strong, in front of Tu Lianyu, he was no different from a baby learning how to speak. Quan Shi's voice transmission fell into Tu Lianyu's ears without missing a single word. Tu Lianyu looked at Quan Shi and asked coldly, "So it's true that the Divine Dao Sect Master killed my Heaven Gate Realm's Unity Realm expert?" Quan Shi shuddered. He felt a little regretful. He shouldn't have transmitted his voice here. Ningqing walked over and patted Quan Shi's shoulder. "Dao friend Quan, this place is still under Heaven Lord Feng's control. The one who should be questioned isn't you, but the newcomer." Quan Shi felt touched. Before he could speak, Tu Lianyu looked at Ningqing again and said in a calm tone, "It's fine to be young, but you can't talk nonsense." Ningqing unexpectedly nodded. "Dao friend Tu is right. It's fine to be young, but you can't talk nonsense. Previously, there was a 7 Aqua Duan clan that said they wanted to destroy my Great Essence Realm. So the 7 Aqua Duan clan no longer exists. By the way, I just came back from the 7 Aqua Realm." Although Ningqing had blocked his casual role, Tu Lianyu didn't put Ningqing in his eyes. Now that Ningqing spoke those words, his gaze immediately locked onto Ningqing. As a veteran Unity Realm expert, he had heard of the 7 Aqua Duan clan. He had even been to the 7 Aqua Realm once. The 7 Aqua Realm's ranking wasn't as high as the Heaven Gate Realm, but it was in the top few. The 7 Aqua Duan clan was the top power of the 7 Aqua Realm. It said that they had a Dao Spring Mountain, so they had the most third-step experts. Moreover, the Duan clan of 7 Soas also had 3 or 4 merging realm experts. Was this young man bragging? He could annihilate the 7 Aqua Duan clan? Was this person Yi Mo hiding his name? From Sang Wanglong's news, he knew that Divine Dao Sect leader Yi Mo killed his Heaven Gate Realm Unity Realm Tertiary Stage Mu Qiangjue. Sang Wanglong greets Dao Monarch 2, Dao Monarch Feng, Dao Monarchy. Sang Wanglong hurried over while Tu Lianyu was still thinking. After greeting Tu Lianyu, he saw Ningqing standing on the side with a spear on his back. He quickly saluted with his fists. "So Dao friend Ning is back, congratulations." Tu Lianyu frowned. He knew Sang Wanglong. If Ningqing didn't know him, Sang Wanglong wouldn't greet Ningqing at the same time. Chapter 1329. Before Tu Lianyu could ask, Sang Wanglong took the initiative to send a voice transmission. Apart from the sacred Dao Sect Master, the other 2 experts in heavens beyond are Ningqing. Back then, I saw with my own eyes how he killed Duan Shiza, a Unity Realm expert of the Duan clan of 7 Pagodas. His 7 Bridges divine art is extremely terrifying. In fact, apart from the 7 Bridges, there was also Ningqing's order-breaking finger. However, Sang Wanglong still couldn't figure out why Ningqing's law-breaking finger was so powerful. Tu Lianyu's expression immediately changed. Ningqing had managed to block his casual role before. Although he was a little surprised, he did not care about it. He did not expect that Ningqing would actually possess the 7 Bridges spiritual technique. He had been to the 7 Aqua world before, so he was naturally aware of Duan Shiza's strength. Even though Duan Shiza wasn't the strongest expert in the Duan clan of 7 Pagodas, he was still a true expert in the Unity realm. This early-stage Dao integration cultivator in front of him could kill Duan Shiza, who was in the realm integration realm. He was probably not someone he could bully casually. The Seven Bridges mystic art was one of the mystic arts that he yearned for. Fellow Taoist Ning's words make sense. The Duan clan of the Seven Ways is arrogant and unbridled. It is reasonable that they were destroyed this time. Tu Lianyu had come to show off the might of the Sky Gate realm, and also to take revenge for Mu Qiangjue. At this time, he naturally would not offend an expert like the sacred Dao sect master. Even if he wanted to offend him, he would have to wait until he killed the sacred Dao sect master. Ning Qing didn't try to eavesdrop on Sang Wanglong's sound transmission. But when he saw Tu Lianyu's expression change, he immediately understood what Sang Wanglong said. Regarding these powerhouses who had always been aloof, Ning Qing had no interest in making friends with them. Not to mention the pseudo-realms, even the true realms cultivated the truth Dao. If it didn't suit his temperament, he wouldn't give a damn. No problem. Ning Qing responded casually before turning to Quan Shi and saying, Taoist Quan, the heavens beyond heaven competition is around the corner. This place is going to start restricting people from entering. Tu Lianyu's face sank. He did not expect Ning Qing to not give him any face. Taoist Ning is right. Too many people have come to heavens beyond recently, and it's too chaotic. Since the competition is about to begin, we really have to limit the number of people who can enter. Feng Huangmei's voice came just in time. He seemed to be very energetic. When Tu Lianyu saw that Feng Huangmei, a mere early-stage creation realm, dared to speak like this, he was immediately enraged. Sang Wanglong said in time, Dao Lord 2, this is Heavenly Lord Feng, the Heavenly Lord of Heavens Beyond. Tu Lianyu was a peak integration realm expert after all. Upon hearing Sang Wanglong's words, he chuckled faintly. Since Heavens Beyond is going to be divided, he will no longer be the Heaven Lord of Heavens Beyond. The Heaven Lord of the Heavens Beyond of heaven and earth should at least be an integration realm expert. How can his cultivation level be so low? Sang Wanglong secretly cursed in his heart. He knew that Feng Huangmei and Ning Qing had a good relationship. Sure enough, without waiting for him to speak up, Ning Qing spoke up in a cold voice. Dao friend 2, you're wrong. After the mysterious yellow body's heavens beyond heaven redivided, the heavens master here is still Dao friend Feng. Tu Lianyu raised her eyebrows. This Ning Qing should have a big secret. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to kill an integration realm expert as a Dao integration realm cultivator. However, no matter how big of a secret it was, it wouldn't do to not give Tu Lianyu face. Taoist Ning Qing is at least right about one thing. After the heavens beyond is redivided, Taoist Feng will naturally still be the Heaven Lord of the Heavens Beyond. Another voice was heard with the same unfriendly tone. Tu Lianyu didn't care about Ning Qing anymore. His gaze landed on the few people who had come over. There were 2 integration realm experts and several creation realm experts. The person who had spoken was a late-stage Dao integration realm divine emperor. The Dao runes around this late-stage Dao integration realm divine emperor were overflowing. Clearly, his cultivation level was not very stable. What puzzled him even more was that this late-stage Dao integration realm divine emperor was carrying a purple saber on his back, just like Ning Qing. You're the sacred Dao sect master, Yemo? He instantly understood, and asked with a hint of sharp killing intent. Yemo replied faintly, That's right, I'm Yemo. If I'm not wrong, you're all from Heaven Gate Realm, right? Heaven Gate Realm is said to be the strongest realm around heavens beyond. You're probably here to get revenge for Mu Qiangjue? Then, Yemo scanned the people behind Tu Lianyu and smiled. Heaven Gate Realm really thinks highly of me. This time, 4 integration realm experts and 9 creation realm experts came. Tu Lianyu said coldly, You are right. The elders of the Sky Gate Realm Union cannot be killed by anyone. I am Tu Lianyu of the Sky Gate Realm Union. Although he was talking to Yemo, his gaze landed on the 2 integration realm experts not far from Yemo. No matter how powerful Yemo was, he was just an unstable Dao integration realm tertiary stage. His Heaven Gate realm had 4 integration realm experts and so many creation realm experts, so he didn't care about Yemo. Before Tu Lianyu said anything, One of the women got up and saluted with her fists. 3 Essence Realm Miruan greets Tao Lord Tuesday. The other Integration Realm Old Man also got up and saluted with his fists. 9 Heavens Realm Liao Qianluo greets Tao Lord Tuesday. Upon hearing that the two of them were not from the beyond of heaven and earth, Tu Lianyu heaved a sigh of relief. He laughed and said with cupped fists, "Oh, it's 2 Taoists from the 3 Elements Realm and the 9 Heavens Realm." After greeting Liao Qianluo and Miruan, Tu Lianyu looked at Yemo. "No matter what, it's not your turn to kill our Heaven Gate Realm people." Tu Lianyu stepped forward, and the 10 or so people behind him formed a half-fan shape and surrounded Yemo. Sang Wanglong looked at the scene in front of him, not knowing if he should step up or not. Yemo didn't care at all and looked at Ning Cheng. "Dao friend Ning, we had a good time working together before. After I returned to the beyond of heaven and earth, I heard something unpleasant." Ning Cheng said plainly, "That's right, I crippled Yi Huangping. If it wasn't for Luo Qinghe, I would have killed him on the spot. Even if I had to do it again, I would still do it." He was no match for Yi Mo yet, but Ning Cheng knew it wasn't that easy for Yi Mo to kill him. At most, he would give up heaven beyond heaven and go back to Great Essence Realm. One day he would come back. Tu Lianyu and them heard this and rejoiced. They didn't expect there was conflict between Ning Cheng and Yi Mo. He wanted it to be as big as possible. He didn't think Yi Mo could escape, but Yi Mo could easily kill Mu Qiangjue, so he wasn't an ordinary person. Even if he could kill such a person, his side would suffer heavy losses. If there was enmity between Ning Cheng and Yi Mo, it would be easy for him. So now not only did he not attack, he didn't even say anything. Yi Mo smiled and said, using Tu Lianyu's words, "No matter what, it's not your turn to teach a lesson to my divine Dao sect disciple." Mi Yun heard this and her heart moved. She clearly remembered that when she told the sect leader that Huang Ping was crippled, the sect leader only asked one word, "Why?" As the person in charge of divine Dao sect in heaven beyond heaven, Mi Yun didn't dare to hide it. She could only tell Yi Mo everything about Yi Huangping dominating the market. As for Ning Cheng destroying Yi Huangping, it was Yi Huangping who went to teach Ning Cheng a lesson. After a long while, she heard Yi Mo sigh, "I don't have much time at home. Mi Yun, after this battle, go back to the divine Dao realm. This place isn't suitable for you. As for Huangping, no need to repair his foundation. Let him live his life as an ordinary person." Mi Yun knew what Yi Mo meant. Even if Yi Huangping was a descendant of the Yi family, he wouldn't be able to step on the divine Dao sect's mission. She, Mi Yun, had failed to stop Yi Huangping's actions in time, allowing Yi Huangping to reach this point, which was tantamount to letting her down. Now that the sect leader said this, did he want to get revenge for Huangping? Ning Cheng's face was very calm. He had teamed up with Yi Mo before and admired Yi Mo. If Yi Mo was going to get revenge for his divine Dao sect disciples, then he would. Sect leader Yi, how can the evil deeds of the disciples of your sacred Dao sect compare to the Dao lords of my Sky Gate realm? Dao friend Ning is doing justice for heaven. I don't think he did anything wrong. Tu Lianyu reproached from Ning Cheng's perspective. Ning Cheng's face was plain. How could he not know what Tu Lianyu meant? Would the Heaven Gate realm be so nice to help him? After Yi Mo was killed, Ning Cheng would be the next to be killed. Did Tu Lianyu want to treat him as an idiot? What he needed to do now wasn't to join up with Tu Lianyu against Yi Mo, but to join up with Yi Mo to kill these Heaven Gate realm masters. Thinking about this, Ning Cheng opened his hand and the creation god spear fell into his hand. Seeing Ning Cheng bring out his magical weapon, Feng Huangmei became even more anxious. What he was most worried about was Ning Cheng and Yi Mo fighting. If that happened, heavens beyond would really be over. The reason they could still talk in heaven beyond heaven was because there were 2 powerful beings in heaven beyond heaven, Ning Cheng and Yi Mo. Now that Ning Cheng heard Tu Lianyu's words and released his magic artifact, clearly he was going to join up with Tu Lianyu against Yi Mo. Tu Lianyu rejoiced. Ning Cheng was indeed young. He only saw the benefits in front of him. With this Ning Cheng, he was 100% certain he could kill Yi Mo and not let the Heaven Gate realm people get hurt. Unexpectedly, Ning Cheng didn't attack or reply to him. Instead, Yi Mo said, "Dao friend Ning, we'll deal with our business during the battle." Now I invite you to join up with me against these shameless old things. Are you willing? Ningqing laughed. That's what I want. As he spoke, Ningqing took a step forward. Yi Mo and the two of them were inside the half-fan-shaped encirclement, and outside the half-fan-shaped encirclement. Sang Wanglong's heart sunk. What he was worried about the most had happened. After knowing Yi Mo and Ningqing's power, he was worried that the two would join forces. Now the two really joined forces. Now that they were really joining up, it was clear that they didn't plan to move the battlefield outside the square. As long as one was a third-step expert, they would guess that there was a confinement-killing array around the Beyond of Heaven and Earth square. Chapter 1330. Dao Lord 2 Sect Leader Yi Daoist Ning, listen to me. Sang Wanglong was anxious indeed. He quickly saluted with his fists and said. Only he knew how powerful Ningqing and Yi Mo were. Ningqing could easily annihilate the Duan 7 So Duan clan, and Yi Mo could instantly kill Mu Qiangjue. Now that the two of them joined forces, it would be hard for the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance to deal with them even if they joined forces. The only chance of winning was the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance's Dao Wave Superposition method. However, even if the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance's third-step experts joined forces to kill Yi Mo and Ningqing, the price they would have to pay would be unimaginable. Sang Wanglong didn't want the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance and Yi Ning to fight. Feng Huangmei also didn't want the two to fight. Even if Yi Mo and Ningqing could beat more than 10 third-step masters, so what? There were more people in the Heaven Gate realm. Perhaps there were 10 times more experts in the Heaven Gate realm. Meanwhile, there were only Ningqing and Yi Mo in Heavens Beyond. There was even some conflict between them. Tu Lianyu's face looked bad. He hated Ningqing more than Yi Mo. This puny Dao integration cultivator didn't know his place and didn't give him any face at all. He had been helping Ningqing before, but this person didn't know what was good for him. However, he was also very concerned. He had been worried that the two of them would join forces against the Heaven Gate realm. Now it really became a reality. Only Ningqing and Yi Mo knew that as long as they joined hands, they would be able to kill 10 more third-step cultivators, much less these 10. This was because they could use the complete 7 Bridges divine art if they joined forces. In Ningqing's opinion, when he was still at late-stage primordial chaos and Yi Mo was at early-stage Dao integration, they had used the 7 Bridges to scare Xingxi away. Now he was at early-stage Dao integration while Yi Mo was at late-stage Dao integration. If they couldn't kill these fake realms, it would be a waste of Dao integration. Thinking of this, Ningqing couldn't help glancing at Yi Mo. He had obtained a great opportunity in the slaughter realm, and so had Yi Mo otherwise. He wouldn't have reached late-stage Dao integration so quickly. The Jiaoyang Mountain was a good place. He had to go to the Jiaoyang Mountain after the matters of the Heavens Beyond and the Great Essence Realm were settled. Attack. Tu Lianyu was the first to bring out his magic treasure when he saw the cultivators from the other realms turn to look at him. Even if they were no match for them, they still had to fight. Otherwise, if they were scared off by 2 Dao integration stage holy emperors, the Heavenly Gate realm wouldn't have the face to continue calling itself the #1 realm. Everyone leave, Ningqing and Yi Mo said at the same time. Without the need for the two of them to speak, the rest of the people also left the Beyond of Heaven and Earth square. Once they started fighting, the confinement killing array of the Heavens Beyond square would definitely be activated. If they stayed here, they would only be swept into the confinement killing array. Hearing Yi Mo say the same thing, Ningqing knew that Yi Mo also set up a trap kill formation here. After everyone left the Beyond of Heaven and Earth, the Heaven and Earth space in the Beyond of Heaven and Earth became chaotic. All kinds of laws of Heaven and Earth began to shatter, and all kinds of powerful divine ability laws began to wreak havoc. Violent Dao wave qi filled the entire space. Luckily, the world laws of the Beyond of Heaven and Earth were extremely powerful. Even though the Beyond of Heaven and Earth square's laws were shattered, the laws of the other places were still intact. Dao wave power exploded and law ravaged. Dao light and God art kept rumbling in the space. Both Ningqing and Yi Mo rejoiced that they teamed up. Killing a Unity Realm Master was completely different than facing more than 10 third-step cultivators, and even Unity Realm Peak Stage cultivators. At this moment, Yimo's falling mark sword rune, instant breath, one side, ice space and other god arts were all used. Ningcheng also brought out his traceless, flowing ×3 stages and dark consciousness explosion without any reservations. He even used the order-breaking finger twice. The two of them had only managed to kill 2 creation realm experts with such powerful divine ability attacks. If there were less than half of them, perhaps they would have won already. There were a total of 14 people including Sang Wanglong. The attacks were stacked with Dao waves through an attack formation. Every time Ningcheng and Yimo wanted to kill one, the other people's Dao wave stacked attacks would come. If the two of them did not join forces, any one of them would have to retreat when facing the superimposed Dao runes of more than 10 people. Ningcheng and Yimo each killed a creation realm master. In order to kill these two, Ningcheng and Yimo paid the price. Ningcheng's left chest was struck by a Unity Realm middle stage beam god art. Yimo's back was cut by a dark light flag of a Unity Realm tertiary stage divine emperor. At this moment, Ningcheng and Yimo could tell that the Dao waves of the Heaven Gate realm's powerful beings were definitely no weaker than Xing Shi's. Especially that Unity Realm tertiary stage who injured Yimo. His eyes were half closed as though he would fall asleep at any moment. He hadn't said anything since coming here. However, this person was much stronger than the blonde Tu Lianyu. In fact, he was several times stronger than the blonde Tu Lianyu. Ningcheng suspected that this guy didn't fuse a fake realm. Even if this guy wasn't as strong as Xing Shi, his realm wouldn't be weaker than formless Dao Lord. Tu Lianyu's expression was also gloomy. He had tried his best to overestimate these two, but in reality, their strength had far exceeded his expectations. Whether it was Ningcheng or Yimo, their Dao waves were condensed and powerful. They weren't something ordinary Unity Realm Dao Lords could compare with. If they waited for Yimo's power to stabilize, their Dao waves wouldn't be enough. At the same time, he didn't expect Fengxian hid so deeply. Only when they really fought did he realize that Fengxian's strength was stronger than his, and it was not just a little bit. If it wasn't that Ningcheng and Yimo were too strong, he wouldn't even know now. Fengxian was the late-stage realm integration expert who had been squinting his eyes. He was also shocked. If it wasn't that he was far stronger than ordinary Unity Realm masters, they would have been annihilated already. If he knew these two were this strong, he wouldn't have come here. He used his full power but still couldn't get the upper hand. Thinking that there was still a trap and kill formation that hadn't been activated, Fengxian was more anxious. Usually he wouldn't care about the trap and kill formation, but now was different. However, things were different now. There were two powerful Dao integration stage Holy Emperors fighting against them. If the trap and kill formation was activated again, the Heaven Gate realm people would lose. But he probably wouldn't be able to win either. Star Sea splitting flag. Fengxian no longer had the mood to continue fighting with Ningcheng and Yimo. The dark flag above his head suddenly split open and turned into endless planets. These planets smashed down from the void and directly smashed towards Ningcheng and Yimo. At the same time, a pitch-black ball appeared in Fengxian's hand. This ball just appeared in Fengxian's hand, and it almost crushed the surrounding space law. These planets smashed down from the void as though they were real. Ningcheng and Yimo's domain was broken. The violent Taoist rhyme energy made their bones and tendons crackle. This was an attack of extreme power. 7 bridges. At the same time, Fengxian used Star Sea Shattering Flag to break their domain. Ningcheng and Yimo used 7 bridges god art. The two didn't activate the trap and kill formation. Once it was activated, it would damage the surroundings of heaven beyond, and they probably wouldn't be able to gain the upper hand. The opponent not only had a powerful Dao wave stacking formation, but also Fengxian, a powerful realm integration. The 7 bridges were released at the same time. Surging samsara Dao waves rumbled in the space. The heaven and earth samsara chi swept over. All living beings standing before this chi had to crawl under this great Dao samsara chi. If heaven wants you to reincarnate, you will reincarnate. If heaven wants you to never reincarnate, your soul will be annihilated. The vast heaven and earth samsara chi was born in the 7 bridges. Yimo's Dao Qi and Ningcheng's Dao Qi combined to form a complete samsara passage. Your life is a gift from heaven and earth. Your death is a gift from the 7 bridges. Helplessness, Wang Xiang, Wang Chuan and Huang Quan. There was no good or evil in Huang Quan. One turned to dust on the bridge of rebirth. If one wanted to return to the other side and reincarnate, they would never return after entering this bridge, samsara. Everything began to reincarnate. This was no longer heaven beyond. This was the beginning of samsara. From helplessness to samsara, from life to death. This time, the two joined forces to release the 7 bridges god art. There was no longer the bleak wind and blood sea. There was only samsara Tao wave. From the bridge of helplessness, from life to death, samsara. In life, you will enter the 7 bridges. In death, you will still enter the 7 bridges. The moment the 7 bridges god art's Tao waves fused, the Tao waves stacked by the Heaven Gate Realm's 3rd step experts disintegrated and shattered. Ningcheng and Yemo didn't have the upper hand not because the Heaven Gate Realm's 3rd step experts were strong, but because the Heaven Gate's stacked Tao waves were too strong. Now that the stacked Tao waves disintegrated, even without the 7 bridges, the two could kill them one by one. The Tao waves of the 7 bridges grew denser, and the entire world seemed to have formed a new underworld. Time was flowing backward, and time was flowing backward. This is actually the complete 7 bridges god art. It forms the complete samsara 7 bridges. Feng Xian looked dazedly at the Heaven Gate Realm's creation realm masters being swept away by the 7 bridges Tao waves. Even Tu Lianyu was killed by Ningcheng's finger. He was extremely shocked. Almost at the same time he reacted, he took out a talisman. With such a powerful 7 bridges, 2 heaven-defying experts, and a death trap array that had yet to be activated, Feng Xian would be courting death if he continued to stay here. You want to leave? Yemo sneered and raised his hand. A golden bow appeared in his hand. The next moment he shot out 6 arrows. The 6 arrows turned into a void fissure. The entire space was filled with terrifying killing intent. The void was torn apart and life and death were controlled. Ningcheng looked at the terrifying 6 arrows and Bone Bao in shock. He thought of his 5-color star splitter arrow. He only had one 5-color star splitter arrow, but he felt that perhaps only Bao and arrow fusion would be stronger than the 6 arrows. Did Yemo only have 6 arrows? He didn't know at all. There was a miserable cry in the void. The next moment, the 6 golden rays disappeared from Yemo's side. Dao friend Ning, sect leader Yi, please have mercy. This is our Heaven Gate Realm's fault. I, Sang Wanglong, apologize to you two on behalf of Heaven Gate Realm. In the rumbling 7 bridge samsara Tao wave, Sang Wanglong's terrified and begging voice sounded. At the same time, Ningcheng put away the 6 bridges and Yemo put away samsara. Feng Xian ran away. Who knows if he was killed by Yemo? Most of the others were also killed by Qiqiao. Even Tu Lianyu was killed. At this moment, only 5 people were left standing in the middle of the plaza. Even without 7 bridges, the 2 of them could easily deal with these 5 people. Chapter 1331. Thank you sect leader Yi and Dao friend Ning for showing mercy. It's our fault this time. Due to Tu Lianyu's control, the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance doesn't differentiate between right and wrong. Tu Lianyu deserves what he got. I hope you two Dao friends can show mercy on account of the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance's sincerity. Sang Wanglong said worriedly. Among the remaining 5, Sang Wanglong's cultivation wasn't the highest. There was also a Unity Realm intermediate stage expert. But no one dared to say that Sang Wanglong was wrong. Even that Unity Realm master didn't dare to say anything. Ningcheng didn't speak. To be honest, the main target of the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance wasn't him but Divine Dao Sect's Yemo. It was the Duan clan of the 7 Soas who sought revenge on him. However, he had already dealt with them before they arrived. The only pity was that he didn't find Heng Yang. The reason he attacked was because he knew that if the Divine Dao Sect's sect leader was killed, Tu Lianyu wouldn't let him go. At this point, if it was him, he wouldn't attack anymore. If he did, it would be fighting to the death with the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance. Seeing the 2 of them remain silent, Sang Wanglong anxiously said, I swear that the Heaven Gate's Realm Alliance will not suffer any setbacks because of this. If something like this happens, I, Sang Wanglong, will take the blame and die. Sang Wanglong wasn't bluffing. The Heaven Gate Realm Alliance lost so many powerful beings. Even if they wanted to get revenge, they didn't have the power to do so. They didn't have the power nor the courage to get revenge. Just think about it. So many experts had come to heaven beyond of heaven and earth. Yet they could not touch Yemo and Ningcheng. What could they do even if so many more experts came? It was true that the Heavenly Gates realm was powerful, but it could not easily gather more than 10 third-step experts, including 4 integration realm experts. The Heaven Gate Realm Alliance couldn't get revenge, and the other sects couldn't either. The Heaven Gate Realm Alliance was made up of elders of the big sects, but each sect could at most send 1 or 2 people into the Heaven Gate Realm Alliance. Yemo and Ningcheng were so powerful that a sect couldn't deal with them. Yemo clearly didn't want to keep killing. He looked calmly at Sang Wanglong and said the battle to divide heaven beyond heaven will be in 3 years. Saying that, he once again looked at Ningcheng and spoke. As for our matters, we will settle them during the fight. I hope that in 3 years, your cultivation will be able to advance further. With that, his figure flashed and he disappeared from the Heavens Beyond Plaza. Ningcheng didn't care. He knew that Yemo's cultivation was unstable. He probably needed time to stabilize his state. In fact, he had just reached Dao integration, so he needed time to stabilize his cultivation base. He had no objections to Yemo's suggestion of 3 years later. Since Yemo wanted to resolve their enmity through a battle, he would agree. He and Yemo both knew what it meant to join hands. Xingxi knew about the beyond of heaven and earth, but she did not continue to wait for them in the Jiaoliang mountain. No one knew if she would come to the beyond of heaven and earth. If Xingxi came, neither he nor Yemo would be a match for her alone. Only when the two of them joined forces would they be able to stop this woman. After working together twice, both of them knew that their great Dao runes seemed to have formed a complementary relationship. It was precisely because of this that the 7 bridges grew stronger. Everyone saw the battle at the Beyond of Heaven and Heavens Beyond Plaza clearly. Even the experts from the 3 Elements realm and the 9 Heavens realm who had retreated to the outside of the square didn't dare to stand out to object after seeing Yemo and Ningcheng Qiqiao joining hands. Yemo and Ningcheng's 7 bridges teamed up. Even the spectators could feel the power of that Samsara Dao wave qi. 14 third-step experts attacked the 2 of them, including 4 Unity Realm experts. However, the 2 of them used the 7 bridges' divine art to disintegrate and kill more than half of them. Unless they wanted to die, they would dare to object to the divine Dao sect master's suggestion. What's the name of the guy who ran away? Ningcheng suddenly asked. His name is Fengxian. He wasn't very outstanding before, but I didn't expect him to be so powerful. Thank you for your generosity, Daoist Ning. Everyone from the Heaven Gate realm will leave the beyond of heaven and earth now. Please allow us, Sect Master Ning. Sang Wanglong's tone became extremely humble. Ningcheng said calmly, the Heaven Lord of heaven and earth's beyond is Heaven Lord Feng. You can ask Heaven Lord Feng if you want to. After saying that, Ningcheng also left the beyond of heaven and earth square in a flash. In addition to stabilizing his cultivation level, he also had to refine the 6-in soul pill to save Ali. The 6-in soul pill could only save Ali, but it could not help Lu Dongsa recover his physical body. Lu Dongsa would need to find another spiritual item to recover his physical body. The beyond of heaven and earth, which had been noisy and arrogant due to the approaching competition, suddenly quietened down. It was noisy because many experts from the outside world had come down from the beyond of heaven and earth. They were arrogant because these experts from the outside world acted unscrupulously in the beyond of heaven and earth. Forcing people to buy and sell and dominating the market were common occurrences. Ever since Ningcheng and the Divine Dao sect master had returned, the beyond of heaven and earth had become gentle and quiet. Even the third-step experts who went out were not as arrogant and hostile as before. Ningcheng had killed the experts of the Duan clan of 7 pavilions as soon as he returned. Then he had gone to the 7 pavilions realm to wipe them out. When the Divine Dao sect master had returned, he had killed the experts of the Heavenly Gate realm. In the end, the 2 of them had joined forces and killed almost all the third-step experts from the Heavenly Gate realm who had come to the beyond of heaven and earth. Now the two of them seemed to be in the beyond of heaven and earth. There were no fools there, so naturally, no one would dare to cause trouble in the beyond of heaven and earth. For the first time, Feng Huangmei felt the glory of being a heaven lord. He had never felt such glory even when he had been in charge of the 7 major forces. No matter which realm experts came here or returned, they would report to the Heaven Lord abode. Such a Heaven Lord was a true Heaven Lord. From the bottom of his heart, he did not want Ningcheng and the Divine Tao Sect Master, Yemo, to fight. As long as the two of them were in the beyond of heaven and earth, they could suppress the various experts from the other realms even if they did nothing. A year passed quickly, and Ali had long been rescued by Ningcheng. The only regret was that Lu Dongsa still had not found a treasure to recover his physical body. Although Shi Lin of the Myriad Realm Auction attached great importance to this matter, the soul-gathering immortal lotus was something that could only be encountered by chance. During this year, apart from searching for the soul-gathering immortal lotus, Ningcheng had been in seclusion to integrate his Tao runes. The 7 bridges divine art lacked the reincarnation bridge, so there was nothing he could do. On the other hand, the Order Destruction Finger and the Time Flow realms had become more solid under his comprehension. On this day, Ningcheng was observing the tree ring sapling in the mysterious yellow bead, when he suddenly received a warning from the old fart. The tree ring sapling was already more than a meter tall in the mysterious yellow bead, and its surroundings gradually filled with some faint time law Tao rune aura. Moreover, the surroundings were gradually filled with a faint aura of the laws of time. It could be seen that this was indeed the seed of a growth ring. In time, this growth ring seed would also become the towering tree of the mysterious fairy clan. Ningcheng immediately came out of the mysterious yellow bead. If there was nothing special, the old fart would never casually send him a warning. Ever since he and Yemo had joined forces to teach the Skygate Realm Alliance's third-step experts a lesson, the beyond of heaven and earth had been extremely peaceful. What was it that was worth the old fart sending him a warning? As soon as Ningcheng came out, he sensed that something was wrong. Powerful spatial fluctuations came, and it was obvious that someone was using nomological divine power in the beyond of heaven and earth. Amidst these fluctuations, there was also a faint smell of blood. What's going on? Ningcheng asked in confusion. The old fart hurriedly said, Heavenly Lord Feng sent a message. Someone is destroying the Mao family. The Mao family? Ningcheng was shocked. He had fought with Mao Tianqi in the Heaven-Earth Divine Tomb. He had also gone to the Mao family and taught the Mao family master a lesson. At the same time, he had killed a Tao integration expert of the Mao family. The Mao family was really unlucky this year. Now that Patriarch Mao Tianqi had not returned, someone was killing the Mao family. However, who would have the guts to make a move in the beyond of heaven and earth at this time? I'll go over and take a look. You stay here. Ningcheng moved in a flash. He was currently living in the cave abode that Shi Lin had found for him. He had let the old fart stay here just in case. Ali's and Lu Dongsa's principal spirits were also here. When Ningcheng arrived at the Mao family, it was like hell. Ningcheng and Yemo were fighting with more than 10 third-step experts from the Heavenly Gate realm in the beyond of heaven and earth, so they would at least be concerned about the square. Although the battle was very intense, it did not destroy the beyond of heaven and earth's public square. At the moment, the Mao family no longer had the powerful atmosphere that Ningcheng had when he had first arrived. The beautiful cultivation environment of the Mao family had been destroyed, and there were ruins and ravines everywhere. The corpses of the Mao family cultivators were also scattered everywhere, and blood was spilled everywhere. The other party seemed to have done this on purpose. The skeletons and destroyed bodies of the Mao family cultivators could be seen everywhere. When Feng Huangmei saw Ningcheng come over, he hurriedly went forward. Brother Ning. Ningcheng's face was also ugly. No matter what, Feng Huangmei was now the heavenly lord of the beyond of heaven and earth. In everyone's opinion, Feng Huangmei's backer was him and the sacred Tao sect master. Now that someone had killed the Mao family and deliberately created such a hellish scene, Feng Huangmei's control over the beyond of heaven and earth would naturally be reduced. Who did this? Ningcheng's gaze fell on the depths of the Mao family, which had already turned into ruins, as he asked in a slightly loud voice. It's a man and a woman. I heard that they came here for revenge. I saw them when they attacked, and they are very powerful. I'm afraid they are not weaker than the late-stage integration realm cultivator, who escaped, and was killed by Sect Master Yi during the battle on the Beyond of Heaven and Earth Square, Feng Huangmei said with some worry. Upon hearing this, Ningcheng was shocked. Back then, the Heavenly Gate Realm Alliance had an extremely powerful late-stage integration realm cultivator. He had specially asked Tu Lianyu and learned that the guy was called Feng Xian. Now that this man and woman were not weaker than Feng Xian, they were definitely top-notch experts. We did it. Before Ningqing could ask again, a slightly cold voice was heard. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.